All right. I know. 1 minute late. I know. You got me, boys. Had to reset the computer, but we're here. We are live now. Let me know once you guys are here. It says I'm live. All right, here we go. We did it. We're back for another Tuesday night live, talking about current events, talking about politics, talking about everything that's going on in the world. And my God, things are moving at absolute warp speed in the media space. A lot to cover. January's off to a hot start, ladies and gentlemen. What are we going to talk about today? All sorts of stuff. Obviously, we're going to start off with everybody's favorite deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino. Dan Bongina. A lot of people are calling him. Been a rough couple days for Dan as he decided to leave his job at the FBI and came out swinging, declaring war on literally everyone. That's not Israel first. So we'll talk a little bit about that. What else we got? We'll talk about what happened with ICE. A lot of people want an update on that. My opinions on that. We'll talk a little bit about that. See what you guys think as well. Get a gauge of, since we got more information now, what everybody thinks. Let's see what we can talk about. The economy, of course. A lot going on with the economy. Invading Venezuela. Talk about what's going on with the military. A lot going on with the military as we are potentially about to invade everyone. It turns out, yeah. Or I think we've been threatening to invade 5, maybe 6 countries in the first 2 weeks of 2026. Off to a fantastic start there. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Democrats, Republicans, and our greatest ally, of course. So we'll let everybody funnel in here as we start the show. How's everybody doing? I know it was gone last Friday, missed our live. A little bit of a family vacation, needed it. Daughter's birthday. So, but we're back. All right. Let's see what chat's got to say. Hello, everyone. If you haven't watched my my episode on Dan Bongino today, I suggest you watch it after this. A lot of good comedy in there. A lot of good one-liners, a lot of good memes, a lot of very, very good memes. Somebody said Dan blocked me on X. Apparently, you can look up Dan Bongino blocked on X, and apparently he's having a field day over there, blocking literally everyone. Anybody that says anything to Dan automatically gets blocked on Twitter. I don't have Twitter, so I'm missing all the drama, but I do have everybody sending me the memes, which is fucking hilarious. Here's the thing, guys. You can't come out swinging, declaring war on everybody, say you're going to take down everyone, tough guy, and then immediately block people like the Hodge twins. Like you can't, excuse me. You can't just block all the other big creators in the space because they, are being a little bit critical of the fact that, well, you spent your entire last 10 months redacting the Epstein files and protecting PDFs. So yes, people are concerned. People want to know what the hell is going on with Danny Boy. So somebody said, or Michael said, how do you buddies feel? Or how do any of your buddies that are active duty feel about what we're doing right now? This is always an interesting one, right? You're going to get wide spectrum of how people feel. Some guys in the military, they just want to get after it, man. They don't really care. If they can go see combat, that's what they want to do. And then you have some people that are super against it, all the stuff that's going on. So typically your active duty guys, especially in the special operations space, like dudes just want to get after it, man. They want to go do missions. And it's usually once you get out and you become a veteran, you start looking at things retrospectively where you're like, maybe it's not such a good thing that we're trying to invade like 7 different countries. But yeah, it just depends. Wide range of feelings on that. All right, should we kick this thing off? Looks like we got quite a few people rolling in here. Let's first thing I want to do is just play a clip of Dan and see what he actually has to say about all of us, because yes, again, he's coming to take back the movement. I'm not sure what the movement is, the MAGA movement, the Make Israel. I don't want to say, I can't say the other one because it sounds like the N word. The Make Israel Great Again movement. I'm not sure what this movement is that Dan is here to defend and protect, but we'll hear it from his own mouth. What he had to say as we jump into the show tonight, and yeah, let's kick this thing off. All right, here we go. Let's see what old Danny boy had to say.
Black pillars where everything sucks all the time is.
Let me restart real quick. Here we go.
The thing about black pillars where everything sucks all the time is they're like, well, we're demanding accountability, but you're not great. So am I. That's some you're endlessly complaining about things you don't know anything about. Like that's all you do. Like he'll shut down the border, 10 people across the month. Why wasn't it 0? Okay. Well, can you just acknowledge going from 1 million to 10 is a big deal?
All right out the gate, Dan says he's seeking accountability and he doesn't like the black pillars because they don't give any credit. So my question would be, Dan says there, something like the border. Well, it's not all the border crossings, but it's shut down pretty well. Well, what about the Epstein files, Dan? Because how many people have been arrested under your watch for the Epstein files? I believe it's 0. I believe 0 people have been arrested, detained. There's been 0 accountability for your one fucking job. So yes, we don't think that you've been looking for accountability, it turns out.
That way, and there's a cost to that. And the cost you see is in, polling numbers around the midterms. You can't let this negative vibe constantly set in. I think a lot of the so-called damage from the terrorists was dramatically over-exaggerated.
So basically, if you guys haven't been able to figure out, his entire grift now is going to be just simping for the Trump administration and trying to defend the Trump administration at all costs. I'm assuming there's been a big payoff with this. We'll talk about that later. But he's not the same, I'm going to expose the deep state Dan Bongino that he was before he decided to take the job at the FBI, it turns out.
Even people who don't like him having to acknowledge that now. The economy's motoring, 4% growth. But
the economy's motoring? What? We're going to look at the economy later. No, it's not, by the way.
Black pill complaining and whining all the time about the administration. It's just like, man, what team are you on?
Not Make Israel Great Again. Turns out none of us are on your fucking team, dude. We're not on your team, Dan. And I think this is where the confusion is for Dan, is that it's not 2016. Okay? We're not with MAGA. And he seems to be very confused by that still.
Holy Moses, man. So you don't have to watch. It's okay. There's a door, go find the freaking exits. Cause I don't, the thing about black pillars where everything.
So, and what I also like to do is just look at the comments, right? Everywhere I've looked on anything with Dan Bongino, including his own channel, they all look like this. Let's see the top comments here. When asked, Dan said Israel is his first priority. Shut up, Dan. Your reputation is shit now. You're never going to escape this, bro. Just sit down and stop acting tough. Someone replay all the videos of everything Dan said himself. Force him to sit through them. He will realize he just sounded like so-called black pillars. Dan, Israel is the most important thing in my life. Bongino. Yes, it's been brutal for Dan Bongino. I'm not sure. What do you guys think the strategy was here for Dan? He had to have known. Maybe he didn't know. He had to have known after 10 months of working with the FBI and the massive shit show that the Epstein files were. By the way, we still only have 1% of the Epstein files, and it looks like we're just not going to get any more of the files. He had to know he's directly tied to that. Like, we've seen the emails. We know that you did everything in your power to help redact the files, to help protect PDFs. So what is the strategy for Dan Bongino coming back into the social media space, talking shit to everyone. Like he has any fucking ground to stand on. Like to call us black pillars? Why? Because we want accountability for fucking pedophiles in our government? Yeah, dude. We do want that. And this is the type of shit he's out here saying on Twitter, right? He'd be a guest on whoever this fucking lady's show. More fire today. Stay tuned as I destroy black pilling life losers and other assorted dipshits. Yeah, sick, bro. So tough, dude. And then here's another one. Yes, gatekeeping is absolutely going to happen. Dan Bongino is going to be the gatekeeper, guys, just so you know. This isn't a business sports team or organization on earth that would do otherwise if they wanted to succeed. You don't allow cancer into your clubhouse. What do you mean? Like, I think cancer is, I don't know, something like our government and the fact it's being run by a bunch of fucking pedophiles. That's probably cancer that we would maybe want to remove. But anyway, Dan says you waive them, you trade them, or you release them. Libs and enemies of our country understand this, and they have found a path to fracture our movement from the inside. I don't know what the movement he's talking about is, but only if we cower from it. I will always relish this year of my life serving you all in this incredible administration. But I'm back now, and the mission is equally important. We built this movement. It's ours. And now we're going to take it back. Sick, bro. So sick. What movement? Guys, what movement is he talking about? AJ says bowel movement. But I mean, I'm being serious. What is he fucking talking about? What is, like, does it not seem like he doesn't realize what year he's in? Like, he doesn't even know where he is. He hasn't been paying attention to what's been happening over the last year. Anybody in the chat, what movement is he talking about? MAGA? Is that what he's talking about? Take it back from who? We don't want it. Nobody here wants the MAGA movement. We're good. We're like, yeah, fucking keep it, dude. Like, what are you talking about? And I showed this in my video today, but Dave Smith had a whole episode absolutely cooking him, but he brought up some great points here too.
Watched you lie through your teeth. Look, he said, I've seen the files. He killed himself. I just want you to think about this, okay? Dan Bongino, after talking about this all the time, and you saw him right there in the clip saying, don't let up. Don't let up on the Epstein thing. We got to keep talking about this. None of this makes sense. What you didn't see there is he even went as far as one time on the Tim Pool show. He said, I have it on good authority that Jeffrey Epstein worked for Middle Eastern intelligence. Could be any of those Middle Eastern countries, of course. But so he said all that. Then he goes in there. He says, I've seen the files. He killed himself. That was approximately 2 months before the official position of the administration was that the files don't exist. So he said he's seen the files and he killed himself. And by the way, as you know, because we followed this whole crazy train, right? You know, the end result of it is that the bill passed. The files are to be released.
Don't worry, buddy. We got a big military section tonight.
Great. So now we all get to see it, right? I mean, I understand they just missed a deadline, but of course, this administration is that they ran on being the most transparent administration in history, right? So we're going to get all that information. So this will be great. So let's see what Dan Bongino saw. I mean, Dan Bongino, by the way, you're coming back to podcasting now. The files have been declassified.
Yep.
I'm not a lawyer, but pretty sure you can tell us now. It's not classified information anymore. You can tell us exactly what you saw, exactly how you were able to look the American people in the eye and guarantee and promise that he killed himself. And you know that for a fact. I mean, you must have seen some really strong evidence in order to know that for a fact. What we've seen so far is a fake AI image of Epstein attempting to kill himself in some way in his cell, but it was clearly determined that wasn't a real video. So what is it that you saw, Dan? I mean, look, dude, if you want to come back into this world, in this world here, as you knew before you went into government, in this world, the currency is honesty. The currency is the truth.
100%. 100%. And that's the thing. here, and you guys know this, like regardless of our opinions and what we believe, and you guys are going to disagree with me sometimes, and you're going to disagree with other creators sometimes. We're not always going to have the same opinions on different topics, but you can't just be a fucking blatant liar like Dan Bongino is. I mean, we know he is. We know he said himself, he's seen the fucking files. Not only we know that, we have emails from him telling, I forget who he was emailing. I believe, I forget which institute it was. It was one of the organizations that was helping redact the files. We have emails from him saying, I will do whatever I can to help you redact the files. And now you're going to try to come back into this space, the social media space. And it doesn't matter what your opinions are. You could be Hassan. You could be Kyle Kalinske. You could be Nick Fuentes. You could be me. You could be Jesse on Fire. We're not all going to agree on everything. We have wildly different opinions, but at least you know, with all of these creators, like for the most part, you might not agree with them, but they're giving their honest opinion on things. And that's not what you're getting from fucking Dan Bongino, obviously. But what you are getting from Dan Bongino is this.
The jump kick, the side kick, the roundhouse, the tie kick, body.
I mean, is this like
double leg, the jump kick, the side kick?
Is this for grandmas? Like, who is this for? Guys, I do a lot of combatives, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. A lot of stand-up, a lot of Muay Thai. I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to be. That's a dude who's never, as far as I know, never done any traditional training in martial arts whatsoever. Maybe he has, but I mean, what the fuck was that? So, sorry, still working off this respiratory shit. Like, somebody says he's kind of hot. Who said that? He's got moves. He's got moves. But like, what are you doing, dude? Somebody said he's high. I mean, come on, man. Like, again, this fake, like, guys, there's real tough guys out there, and I'm not pretending to be a real tough guy. I did a tough guy job for a long time. There's so many guys I work with way tougher than me. Some of my friends way tougher than me. Jesse on Fire, half my size, could fold me like a fucking armchair. Okay, lawn chair, excuse me. But this guy, like, come on, man. Come on, Dan. Like, Dan is not a tough guy. And so this weird, like, again, coming back into the space, calling everybody out, America first. I'm calling out America first. You can't say a negative word about our greatest ally. You say one bad word about Israel, and Dan Bongino's coming for you. Like, dude, fuck off, man. Like, here's my thing with Dan. Like, go to Fox News. Go be on Fox and Friends weekends, man. Like, the 80-year-old blue-haired Fox News grandmas will appreciate your martial arts stuff over there. Okay. But this ain't it, man. Like, the social media space has passed Bongino. We are way over here now. Let's see. I want to do a poll. I want to see what you guys think about Dan Bongino. Some people I maybe still like Dan. But we'll find out. Let's see. How do we want to phrase this? Let's see. Here we go. Let's say support Bongino. Let me see what you guys think. Rather than have me just rant about what a fucking turd he is, let's see what the chat thinks. Okay. And again, regardless of how we feel about this, we can't take away the fact that the memes are fantastic, guys. There's so many good memes right now. I didn't make these. I did, if you watch my video, I did make the intro video with the Napoleon Dynamite and all that, which we may watch that here in a second. I did make that meme, but the memes are fantastic. Okay, here's another one. We got some Simpson memes. I mean, these are all over the internet. It's everywhere we look, and it's rough out here for the boy. And it's going to be interesting because he put out his announcement that he's coming back. This was for immediate release. I love how, look at this announcement. This breaking. Oh my God, with the sirens, the firecrackers for immediate release. Oh my God. This is like one of the biggest announcements in social media history. Yes, Dan Bongino announces his return to broadcasting with a new 2-hour show. And yes, February 2nd, it looks like he'll be coming back, the Dan Bongino show at 10 a.m. Eastern. And again, this is Dan's own Instagram page. We see this up here, right? Dan Bongino. Let's see what his own Instagram followers had to say. The very first top comment: that ship has sailed. Dan, just retire gracefully. You talked a big game. We got nothing. We do have a couple positives here with they're getting just ratioed into oblivion. Welcome back, brother, from old Graham here. But then immediately, everybody else, I lost my trust in you, unfortunately. You helped cover up the Epstein files and then blocked everyone who called you out on X. Grifter, can't believe you took over $6 million from APAC. You lost all your credibility. Never mind wildest dreams. Would I think you would become one of them? We'll literally never listen to you again. All 20 fans, all remaining 20 fans are excited. So yes, it's that's his own channel, by the way. His own Instagram page. That's not me pulling up people making fun of him. That was his own announcement to his show. Absolutely drugged by his own community. So yeah, just looked at the poll. Not looking good. I think the only poll we've ever seen worse than that is do you support Erica Kirk? I think Erica Kirk was 98% no, 2% yes. So at least Dan is beating out Erica for support. We got one fan. Dan here says Dan is the fucking man. I'll be there most definitely. Dank here just absolutely loves pedophiles, it turns out. And if there's anyone, if you're a pedophile, I'll tell you this, guys. If you're a pedophile, Dan Bongino, he's got to be your biggest hero, because this guy has done more for the pedophile community than I don't know anybody. Since Trump, probably. Since Epstein, maybe. It's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible, the work he's done for the pedophile community. You got to appreciate Dan on that. Guys, I'm going to show you this. This has absolutely nothing to do with any of the show or any of the rest of the episode, but I had no idea where to fit it in. And it's such a fucking cool clip that I just wanted you guys to see it. So sorry that this is random and it has nothing to do with Dan Bongino or politics, but we're going to play this clip anyway, just because it's so awesome. Have you guys seen this? This clip of this fucking dog. It's pretty viral. I just want you guys to watch this. The commentary is actually hilarious. This is the most alpha dog I've ever seen in my life. I want you guys to watch this.
I've never seen anything like this before. All of these dogs are fighting.
All got their teeth out.
All got their teeth out. At 11 seconds, the boss dog of the fucking world walks into this video. I have never seen any living being. Forget about a fucking.
Again, sorry this is random. This video was amazing.
Dog. I've never seen any living being with this type of fucking authority before. The dog walks into this situation. There is a gigantic cane corso to its right. The cane corso bows. The dog bows.
Yeah.
There is, to the dog's left, when you're looking at the video, a big German Shepherd who's chilling. The German Shepherd gets up and walks out as if to say, oh shit, the motherfucking one is here. It's like literally the cane corso bows, gets down.
He does bow. He tips his head and everything.
And then the German Shepherd is thinking, oh my God, y'all done really fucked up now. Cause motherfucking Whitey Whitesaw is out in this motherfucker.
The dog's not even big.
Not big at all. The cane corso bows, and it's a cute, foofy little motherfucker. The pup walks over, gets on the dog, making the trouble.
All the other dogs scatter.
All the other dogs scatter. It then puts its paws
That's the part.
at 17 seconds on top of this dog as if to say, shut the fuck up.
All right, sorry guys. I know this is the most random shit ever, and it has nothing to do with anything, but I have never seen anything like that. That dog, that little sheepdog, rolls in, just punks a King Corso, a giant German Shepherd. Every dog bails. I mean, it's the most alpha of shit I've ever seen in my life. I watched that clip and I was like, that's not AI. It's all over the place. And I mean, that is the most alpha dog I've ever seen. Anyway, it's random, had nothing to do with the show, but I wanted to fit it in, right? It's basically it might be an old video, guys. I've never seen it before. I just wanted to share it with you. It's basically that. And I was thinking about that dog as I was doing this, and I was like, that dog is basically the opposite of Dan Bongino. Like, if I could think of basically, the dog that rolled over on his back and just got punked out immediately, like that's Dan Bongino. But anyway, I know a little bit random. All right. That's all we're going to talk about for old Danny Bongino right now. Again, I've got a whole video on Dan. If you want to watch that after. Next, we're going to jump into, we'll do a couple super chats, and then we'll jump into very, very divisive subject. I obviously did a big video on this a couple days ago, and that is going to be the ICE shooting of Renee Good. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to do some polls, right? We're going to do some polls on that. Let's do a poll first. And again, I'll explain my position. My position hasn't changed, by the way. I'll give some context on it, but I want to see what you guys think. And again, this is very emotional, very divisive, and it's okay. We should be able to talk about these things, guys. All right, we should be able to talk about like very charged subjects that are happening in our country, right? And we should be able to do it and voice our opinions and be able to do it respectfully with each other, okay? And so what I want to do is ICE shooting justified. Okay? That's all I want to know. Law enforcement officer, the ICE officer, after everything we've seen, okay? A lot has come out. A lot of bad information's come out. A lot of good information's come out. A lot of new videos come out. I want to know what you guys think. Was the shooting justified? And then we'll talk about it, okay? A lot of stuff to talk about. And again, it's not necessarily right answers, wrong answers. All right? I'm going to give my opinions on it because that's what I do. I'm not scared to give my opinion. You guys know that. But that doesn't make your opinions wrong if you disagree with me. But I think it's an important thing for us to talk about. All right, a couple super chats real quick before we jump into that as you guys hit those polls. Susan says, hope your baby girl had a great birthday. She did. She did. Cost me a lot of money. We went to some expensive places that I didn't know we were going to go shopping, it turns out, in Seattle. You find those things out with your wife and daughter once you get there, but it is what it is, You spoil my daughter a lot. But the reason, and guys, and what I would say to all you girl dads out there, you should spoil your daughters. And I mean, really spoil them. And my outlook on this is the reason why you really want to spoil your daughters is that way when they become 18, 19, 20 years old, they're not impressed by some dipshit fucking kid in Houston with a Honda Civic that wants to fly her out for the fucking weekend, right? Because she's like, dad fucking took me wherever I wanted and bought me whatever I wanted, right? So I do the opposite with the son, right? But with your daughters, I'm a big advocate of spoiling your daughters. So that way, again, they have higher expectations from all the shithead little kids that are going to be running around. But anyway, I digress. We did have a good birthday. There we go. DHS whistleblower leaked ICE agents' names. Yeah, that's going to happen. Ever done a spy extraction? What's it like? Yes, I have. So spy extraction is going on with my computer here. Sorry, it's flashing on and off. Spy extraction is emergency extraction that we will do from a helicopter. They'll drop this big, I mean, I've got videos of us doing it. I have to dig it up. Drop this big rope up. You all basically hook yourself into harnesses, and then the helicopter takes off, and you're all dangling from a big rope as you fly off into the distance. Haven't done it for real. My dad, I believe, has done it for real in combat in Vietnam. He may correct me if I'm wrong on that. I believe he has, which is insane. But I've obviously never done it operationally. In Vietnam, they did a lot of that stuff, though. Yeah, if I'm lagging, sorry. That was lagging there for a second. All right. If our greatest ally sends money to Republicans and Democrats in elections, it's fair to say that they're different sides of the same coin, and Trump and Kamala just play roles they are told to. Yeah, I mean, they do. They donate money to fucking everything. And I actually have a number. Now we'll get to it when we get to a later section of the video. I actually have a list of how many of the House and the Senate accept money from AIPAC. And I believe it's out of 500 and what is it, 520 something? Only 10. And this is out of the House and the Senate. House and the Senate, only 10 politicians. Am I lagging? I feel like I'm lagging. What the fuck is going on here? Uh-oh. Come on. What in the hell? Now there's two of me. Am I back? That was weird. Are we here? Are we good? Are we good? That was super weird. My entire internet browser with my 100 different guys, I build these episodes out. It takes me a long time to build these episodes out. All of my my browser pages, everything just disappeared out of nowhere and then popped back up. Okay. Okay. Holy shit, that was sketchy. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Never had that happen before. Okay. Don't know where I burned in there. One of super chats. Okay, we're back. We're good. One more super chat, then we're going to jump into the next section, the ice section. You guys, I don't know if you heard what I was talking about here, but yes, turns out that I believe, and we'll look at the statistics here later in the episode. I actually have something on it. I believe only 10 politicians in Congress, and that includes the House and the Senate, out of 520 something, I believe, only 10 do not accept money from AIPAC. Only 10 out of 500 plus do not accept money from AIPAC. 535. There we go. Yeah. Not great. Not great when only 10 out of 500 plus, but it is what it is. So, okay, let's jump in and talk about this. First thing we're going to do, we always like to use some clips from Tim on the show. Let's see what and I think Tim got a lot of backlash for this clip. But that's okay. Let's see what Tim had to say.
I don't believe the cop was justified in shooting her 3 times in the face. By the way, I've always believed this, and this is something that I've caught heat for, but I've literally believed it since I'm a kid. I don't believe you should ever shoot. No, serious. I think it's ridiculous. So they did that, and they, you know, the guy. These are not well trained law enforcement people in ICE right now. we're taking people that did backyard wrestling. I mean, we are the people that are in ICE right now are, I mean, this is your cousin who like was in backyard wrestling. Like, this is tough. This is not the cream of the crop. You know the guys that kidnapped Maduro, like Delta Force?
Can you guys not hear me? What the fuck is going on here? This is weird. On my end, I'm not lagging at all. Lagging bad? Am I good? Did you guys get any of that clip? All right, hold on. Yeah, I don't know. We might just have a shitty internet problem here. Hopefully it figures itself out. Okay, let's try this again.
I don't believe the cop was justified in shooting her 3 times in the face.
Can you guys hear that now?
By the way, I've always believed this, and this is something that I've caught heat for, but I've literally believed it since I'm a kid. I don't believe you should ever shoot someone in the face more than once. Seriously, I just think it's ridiculous. So that they did that, and they, you know, these are not well-trained law enforcement people in ICE right now. We're taking people that did backyard wrestling. I mean, we are the people that are in ICE right now are, I mean, this is your cousin who like was in backyard wrestling. Like, this is tough. This is not the cream of the crop. You know the guys that kidnapped Maduro, like Delta Force, Navy SEALs? This is not them.
Nope.
This is not the Delta Force, Navy SEAL people.
So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. This is where my perspective comes from. Okay. Regardless of what people want to say about this woman, she's a Democrat, she's a leftist, she was agitating the situation. I don't really fucking care, because none of those things, or she barely brushed an ICE officer with her car moving at 3 miles per hour. None of those things matter to me, because I worked a extremely high stress job where I operated a firearm, by the way, and I had to make split second decisions that were life or death all the time. And if we, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, Delta Force operators, fuck up and do something stupid, we go to prison for war crimes. So my point with this is, this ICE officer, when I watch this, the reality is, could there be a way to legally justify? Will the courts be able to find a way to legally justify the shooting? Maybe. But I can look at this and go, okay, this ICE officer fucked up all over the place. For one, he put himself in front of a vehicle that's turned on, by the way. No law enforcement officer anywhere is trained to do that. And not only that, the Supreme Court has actually ruled on situations like this that if law enforcement officers needlessly place themselves in danger and then kill someone afterwards, it no longer becomes self-defense. Okay? And so with my point, just because some American civilian did something stupid does not immediately mean I'm going to cheer on federal officers shooting her in the fucking face. Okay? Because the people with the guns have the higher level fucking responsibility to make sure they make the correct decision. That's why we give them the authority to carry the firearm and carry out laws and justice. And so, no, just because someone decides to flee the scene, and the Supreme Court has ruled on this multiple times, does not justify shooting a fucking woman in the fucking face. Not only that, but that ICE officer actually escalated the situation and made it infinitely more dangerous for the community by shooting her, a moving vehicle, in the face, turned her vehicle into a fucking missile, which thank God it hit a telephone pole or a car instead of just rolling into someone's home and killing fucking kids inside that home. So is there, and here's what I call a situation called lawful but awful. Will there be a way for the defense to justify the shooting? Probably. Because law enforcement officers get an incredible amount of leeway when it comes to officer shootings. But does that mean that was the correct decision to make? Does that mean a well-trained officer would have made that decision? No, of course not. But he wasn't a well-trained officer. And I know that because ICE gets jack shit training. As far as we know now, they're getting as little as 47 days training before they head out on the street. 47 days. That is what, comparatively to basic training in the military, that's like 1/4 of basic training. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, if he was ICE for 19, okay, I love this comment, Vinny. If he was ICE for 19 years, he should be fucking in prison tomorrow, because that tells me he's got 19 years experience and he's doing dumb fucking shit like standing in fucking front of vehicles and shooting drivers in the fucking face and turning their vehicles into missiles in suburban neighborhoods. So I love that comment, because what you just did was proved that he absolutely had the training and knew better, and still to decide to do it. Fleeing, and the Supreme Court has ruled on this in 1985, that no, you cannot just fucking shoot people in the face that flee from police officers. Absolutely not. So again, no, Vinny, not ease off the whiskey. You're just a fucking idiot. And you got roasted for it. So here's my point. Will they be able to make this justifiable through the legal system? I'm sure they will. But does that mean this is the type of system you want to live in? And also, not only that, who is defending this? The don't tread on me crowd. You guys know, like, don't tread on me, federal government. But who is it cheering on the federal officers? MAGA. Like, aren't you the don't tread on me crowd? You're cheering on federal agents shooting fucking American citizens in the face in suburban neighborhoods. How is, like, what? What about January 6th? Ashley Babbitt. Remember Ashley Babbitt, who was shot in the fucking face by a federal officer? Oh, that was horrible. What happened? Well, what happened is that now that Donald Trump is in office, now MAGA has to simp for the federal government. And so, no, I'm not going to simp for the fucking federal government. I'm not going to do mental gymnastics to try to justify some dipshit fucking officer shooting some woman in the face needlessly. I'm not going to do that. No, we're not going to relax because you're fucking retarded. And there's a lot of you out there, Vinny. That's the problem. And I don't want to live in a country where this is just what happens. We're just like, yeah, no big deal. Cops can just needlessly fucking shoot American citizens when there is 100 different ways to de-escalate that. No, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to go along with that just because MAGA says it's a good thing. And if you don't like my opinion, that's fine. But the cheering on of an American citizen being fucking smoked in the street, that I think is absolutely terrible. And I'm not the only one that feels this way. Pretty much like Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, most of the people that I ideologically align with feel the same way that I do.
Also very ugly to watch someone shoot a U.S. citizen, especially a woman, in the face.
Right.
Where it's like, I'm not that guy. I don't know what he thought. And again, this is a guy who had almost been run over, but it just looked horrific to me. I mean, when people say it's justifiable because the car hit him, it seemed like she was kind of turning the car away. It's also very ugly.
Of course. I mean, she's moving at 3 miles per hour. 3 miles per hour. We've all seen it. We've seen MAGA try to justify. He hit her. Or she hit him. She hit him. She brushed his fucking jacket, moving at 3 miles per hour. Again, lawful but awful. And there's absolutely nothing you can say to me that will say to me that ICE officer needed to fucking unload his pistol into her face. That's not what needed to happen. It's not. 3 miles per hour when the cop shot her in the face, and then what happens? She's incapacitated with her fucking foot on the gas as the fucking car flies down the street. That's why you don't fucking shoot someone in the face that's driving their car down the road. Did you know that? Did you know that's why law enforcement officers are trained not to do that? I bet you didn't. But you can't because you're a tribalist. You're a tribalist, right? And you're MAGA. And since it's ICE and it's the federal government and you're a simp for the federal government now because you are a MAGA guy, now you have to support it. Like, we know how it works at this point. And whoops. Pull this back up. And there's a lot of it's crazy how many military members and my friends feel the same way I do.
Terrorizing the population. I was just saying, like, one, in Afghanistan, we never wore masks.
Nope.
I went on 4 deployments. The only time we would wear like a face covering is maybe if it was cold and my guys were on a, you know, you were pulling security somewhere, or maybe it was dusty, you wore a shamag or whatever. But we didn't wear masks. Again, this officer is not wearing a mask. He's one of the leaders. That's smart. No one here is going to be going after him. If you're fighting the actual cartels and you're on the border, fine. If you want to protect your identity, totally makes sense.
Here's my other problem with it. How come? And guys, I'm a pretty far right when it comes to immigration. But how come I don't see any videos of ICE going into gang-ridden neighborhoods? How come I don't see any videos of ICE going in and removing cartels from dangerous neighborhoods? You never see that. I thought the entire point was to remove all of the cartels and the criminals from our country. But we don't see them doing that. I don't see ICE going into all the places they promised us that they were going to go into. I see them going into suburban neighborhoods. I see them going into Home Depot parking lots. And again, I'm a pretty hardcore, staunch anti-immigration guy. And if I feel this way, I don't know who's really supporting this. Somebody said, yeah, another one. Where's the ICE shootouts with the cartels? We don't see any of this. It's almost like they don't have the balls to go do the real job. So why is ICE so bro, I haven't even started drinking yet, you fucking idiot. You are the worst, dude. You're one of the worst people I've had in my chat. Vinny. Not very many people really fucking irk me when I'm doing these lives. You, however, you're a disgusting human being. Yeah, I haven't even started drinking yet, dude. You're just a piece of shit in general, and I want you to know that. Again, like, think about the fact, like, you could have different opinions on this. Was it justified? Was it not justified? That's fine, but it's terrible. Either way you look at it, this is not a good thing for the country. Shouldn't we all be able to agree on that? Left, right, center? That maybe we don't want to see federal agents shooting American civilians in the fucking face in the streets in suburban neighborhoods? Isn't that something we should all be able to agree on? That like this isn't a good thing? Or like are we that far down the tribalist insanity rabbit hole that like, oh no, hey, federal agents shot somebody in the face. I got to cheer that on because Trump's my daddy. It's crazy, man. This topic has been crazy. But there are some heroes out there, guys. There are some heroes. And again, I'm supportive of law enforcement, but not untrained law enforcement that makes terrible fucking decisions. But anyway, here's somebody throwing a sandwich in a nice officer's face. Oh, you gotta turn the sound off. Bam. One more time. Subway sandwich, straight to the dome. Anyway. And again, my point with this, yeah, I am passionate about this because I don't want to see law enforcement doing whatever the fuck they want. You can't just kill American citizens with no repercussions. Now, if it's justified, that's completely different. Unarmed people, unarmed woman in a car who's driving a couple miles an hour to get away from you. That ain't it, man. And again, that doesn't mean it's not legally potentially justified. There's going to be ways that they can figure it out. But I just want everybody should understand the idea of lawful but awful. Can we not all agree on that? That it's an awful situation? Maybe not. Maybe I do see tons of people making jokes about it and they think it's hilarious. But I don't. And I don't really care that she was a Democrat. Maybe I'm crazy on that. That's where we're at now, where MAGA is just like, and also, guys, isn't it hilarious? The same people that are cheering this on, that are making jokes about this, are the exact same people who threw the biggest fucking tantrums in the world about people making jokes about Charlie Kirk being killed. It's the same people who were throwing tantrums about that think this is funny. And it's like, I'm sitting over here going, hey, it's all bad. It was horrible when it happened to Charlie Kirk. It's horrible when it happened here in Minnesota. You would think we could all agree like, hey, this isn't a good thing. But apparently we can't. Apparently we're at the point in American society that we can't agree that just shooting American citizens in the face is bad, which is crazy.
Now, I don't believe from the angle I'm watching that the federal officer feared for his life.
Nope.
At the speed she's going when she's turning the wheel, I don't believe that the federal officer feared for his life. He could have shot the tires. They could have done other things. This idea that everyone they have to just shoot them in the head.
Yep.
Now, I don't believe.
And that's where I'm at, right? There's other ways to deal with situations like this. Like, I don't know, there's a license plate on the car. And if and typically, this is why law enforcement officers a lot of the times are trained not to chase a fleeing vehicle in general, is because you're going to potentially cause way more damage by chasing the vehicle. So you have a license plate. Okay, we know who you are. We'll come get you later. But maybe not. Maybe just shooting somebody in the face is the way it goes. But here's the thing. We're also getting to the point, and I've been down to these protests. I mean, and it's not an easy job, but there's stuff like this everywhere that we're watching now. I mean, really? You're just like, just dumpstering women on the ground. And here's more. I mean, this woman's just standing here. I mean, you do have a right to protest in the United States, right? Like, she's standing here. She hasn't touched the cop. This is important. Portland, I've literally been right here at these protests.
Oh, shit.
Like, you can't just do shit to people who are just standing there like this. Right? Like, I get it. Okay? Like, you might not agree with these people or why they're protesting. Okay? But, like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, we have in America the right to protest without being shot in the face, without just being fucking dumpstered in the street. But a big problem with this is that, yes, in honor of Donald Trump being the 47th president, the ICE Academy has shortened to just 47 days of training. The typical police academy is 147 days. Basic training is, let's see. You got 16 weeks? I don't know math on that. So 47 days training, guys. 6 weeks of training before we send people out into this situation. We cannot accept that. We can't. And again, a lot of this isn't even the ICE officers. I'm not saying this specific ICE officer, but a lot of this isn't even these ICE officers' fault. They don't even have the training to be able to do this. For comparison, 47 days training. You guys know how long the training is to become a Green Beret, which again, much higher level job, is closer to 2 years. That's like, what, 700 plus days training? These dudes are getting 6 weeks training thrown out into the street. Like that can't be what we're accepting as American citizens. Like, this is okay. And again, like we're putting them, the ICE officers, in situations that they're not fucking trained to be doing. They're not law enforcement officers. Now, technically they are, but like cops have 4 to 5 times the training. A brand new cop on his first day has 5 times the training that an ICE officer does. And if you guys think that's a good thing, that's okay, I guess. But as for me, I don't want federal agents with 45 days of fucking training, armed, out on the streets, shooting American citizens. I don't want to see that. And it's crazy to me that so many people do want to see that. And then when it does happen, you got this. Like, this is like, what is this? This is what she shows up to give her little speech. Like, I mean, somebody said dress like Yosemite Sam. I mean, like, what are we doing? And this is going to be one of the worst when it comes to the actual defense. If you guys haven't seen this, the ICE officer, after he shoots her in the face 3 times, calls her a fucking bitch. From a self-defense, legal use of force standpoint, that's going to be real rough in court. It's going to be real rough when they play that clip to the jury. Now, we'll see what happens, but here's another one. And this is what makes me think about. Like, I thought about this, right? You hear this all the time. Should have just complied with orders, then you won't get shot in the face. It's like, yeah, we know a guy who didn't comply with the laws, and he was killed for it too. You know, some interesting ones. Nick Fuentes says anyone who is obstructing ICE should be arrested immediately. Yes, the feds have the authority to deport illegal immigrants, and Trump has political mandate, mass deportations. This is insurrection and should be put down with the full force of the federal government. So yes, again, Nick Fuentes simping for the federal government. It's just very, very bizarre to me. Like, I worked for the federal government. And I'm telling you, myself, when I look at this, I'm like, this is not good. Not good. I would assume. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. What does the poll say? 60% says no, justified. 40% says yes, justified. I think there's definitely ways to show that this is justified, but I just think it's awful. That's my take. So that's my final take. Is there going to be ways that they're going to be able to justify this for the law enforcement officer? Maybe, probably, but it's not okay. It shouldn't have happened. A well-trained officer would not have put himself in the position to have to potentially take that shot, which he didn't have to take the shot. But like, you know, it's crazy to me that just from like a morality standpoint, with like as human beings, as American citizens, that this is where we're at, where we're just like laughing. And guys, and you've seen the memes, you've seen the jokes. We're just like laughing about American citizens being killed in the street by federal agents. Like, what would the founding fathers think about this shit? You know what I mean? It's just like how far the conservative movement, because it's conservatives that are cheering this on. It's conservatives that are cheering on the federal government, federal agents killing American citizens. Conservatives are cheering that on. It's like, do you guys remember COVID? Like the same people crying about government overreach, federal agents showing up at people's doors. It's like, yeah, it's the same shit. We should not be cheering on the federal government with authoritarian overreach. Please, let's not do that. I thought as conservatives, we were against that. But maybe not. Maybe not. Anyway, that's probably, again, I said it was going to be divisive. I said it's emotionally charged, but I've never shied away from my own opinion on things. And this doesn't make your opinion wrong. If you completely disagree with me, that's absolutely fine. Doesn't make your opinion wrong. It's just the way I look at it. And again, what I don't want to do is set a precedent that this is something that's okay. That's what's worrisome, right? Is if we're like, yep, good, love to see it. If you don't obey immediately with some federal agent or border patrol or immigration officers' commands, we can just shoot you in the fucking face. What should ICE do? ICE should not stand in front of vehicles, and then if that vehicle moves at 3 miles per hour, they should not then just unload their pistol into someone's face in a fucking neighborhood. That's what I think. Like, here's something you have to think about. Did this person just come from actively committing a violent crime? Did she just get done murdering someone and now she's attempting to flee, and now she's actually a risk to society and the local community because she's a violent felon that just committed some huge crime? That would be the type of situation where you may have to put that person down. But I don't think that's the situation we saw. So again, look at this guy. Again, if you want to simp for the federal government, let me just be clear. You're not a conservative. Okay? You're not a conservative. You're MAGA. You're MIGA. You're Make Israel Great Again. Okay? But real conservatives don't simp for the federal government. Real conservatives don't simp for federal agents shooting American citizens in the face in the street. They don't. Okay? So understand what team you're on. But don't pretend you're a conservative. Don't pretend you're on our team if you think this is a good thing. Now, you can think it's justified, but if you're laughing and you think it's funny and you think it's a good thing, yeah, you're MAGA. You're a red hat guy. So, anyway, like I said, that was going to be divisive. But again, I give you guys my opinions, raw and unfiltered. All right, let's move into. Actually, we'll take some super chats. See what you guys think. Again, if you're mad about my take, then that says a lot about you. If you get that upset that you don't agree with me, then you should take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, hey, why does Nate think it's such a bad thing for federal agents to be murdering American citizens? You might want to take a look in the mirror, to my point. But, or not, just, keep doing what you're doing. It's fine. North Korea operates that way as well, by the way. Just so you know, federal government can just roll around and just murder people in North Korea. So if that's a society you want to live in, keep cheering that on, because we're headed that way in a hurry. All right. Pimbla says, how the fuck do people like Dan Bongino expect to keep their credibility? Well, I don't know if he thinks he's going to. Maybe he thinks he's going to, but it's going to be tough after the Epstein files. Dan Bongino really got wanged up there at the White House. Dan's following is retreating faster than his hairline. Love the channel. Thanks, Charles. All right. TJ says, did you see Trump flip off a guy who yelled at him, calling him a PDF protector? Tide is turning on Bubba's throat goat. Sad I was tricked. I didn't see that. I haven't seen that yet. I think Bongino is brain broken, perhaps a stressful 10 months, but 6 months with a therapist and psychiatrist with help, he's not rational. Okay, a couple more and we'll jump back into the episode. Audio analysis indicates a round fired from the Losi Center roof to the van with an open hatch behind CK. Velocity matches. Yeah, I mean, Trigger Smart talked about that last night and said the audio does not match that. So I'd have to see what you're talking about with that. Dan would get eaten alive by Dave Smith. I'm all for it. Dan won't debate a single supposed black pill or just push fed slop from his audio or his podcast audio studio. Yeah, he's not going to debate anybody, man. Absolutely not. Mark says I'm a psyop. Yes, the guy who's telling you that he does not approve of the federal government killing people is the psyop. Thank you, Mark. You got me. Well done, buddy. I'm doing a great job as a government psyop for sure, as I shit on the government. I must be controlled opposition. Isn't that how that works? Is that what they say? Okay, let's jump back into this. Actually, yeah, we're going to jump into the economy, it turns out. Because part of the economy that's supposed to be improving is because we got all the free gas and oil now, right? We control Venezuela. Isn't that what we're being told? Another Tim Dillon clip, it turns out.
Finally doing good stuff. We got Maduro. We captured him, and we're stealing their oil. Listen, if gas doesn't come down, gas has got to come down. The hope with this is that eventually we're going to bring the cost of living down through kidnapping world leaders. I mean, that's now the plan. Nothing else has worked. You're just going to wake up and hear about different people we've kidnapped. They got the president of Panama. You go, what? He was skiing. They got him when he was skiing. Yeah, he got to the bottom of the hill. They just got him. It's going to get to the point where you'll be in the grocery store and go, why are these blueberries so cheap? And they go, we just killed the governor of Maine. We killed that guy. You're going to go, interesting. They go, yeah, they just sent special forces in. They broke his neck in front of his family. You go, that's why these things are 90 cents. They go, yeah, blueberries are basically free for the next 3 months. And the violence will get more and more sadistic, but you also are not going to care because the prices of things are going to come down. Like, if gas goes down to like $3, you're not going to give a shit about this. You're going to give a fuck about Maduro with $3 fucking gas?
Now, this was kind of the story we were selling at the beginning of the global war on terror, right? When we very first invaded Iraq, that was the story we got sold, right? Well, at least gas prices are going to go down. They never did, but at least they're going to go down. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, if you guys haven't seen this, yes, Trump had a big meeting with oil executives. He should have probably had this meeting before he decided to kidnap Maduro, because it turns out that Exxon tells Trump that Venezuela is uninvestable without big changes. So yes, as we've now learned, here's a little meme of Trump. When you invade Venezuela for oil, when you invade Venezuela for your oil companies and they tell you it's uninvestable. Yes, it turns out that we're not going to most likely be doing anything with Venezuela's oil. The reason for that is, well, it's dual pronged. The biggest reason for that is that the vast majority of American oil companies already have all of the logistics networks, all of the refineries, everything that's built out for heavy crude, they already have in Canada. And so the oil companies have no interest in going into Venezuela and investing another $500 billion to be able to pull that heavy crude out. So what they're really looking to do is just stop or limit all of the heavy crude coming out of Venezuela so they can maximize profits off of the heavy crude that's coming out of Canada. So it turns out that no, removing Maduro from power literally did nothing. Like I said in my initial video when I talked about this a week and a half ago, nothing would change. Yes, Maduro was removed. The Maduro regime has not been removed. It's still 100% in control of everything, the government, the oil, the military, and the Venezuelan people will not be liberated because the Maduro regime is still in power. So it turns out, yes, we decided to kidnap a foreign nation's president, and we got nothing out of it, and we are going to get nothing out of it. However, now Donald Trump is trying to float the idea because oil executives are refusing to go into Venezuela because it's too high risk. Well, actually, the American taxpayer could reimburse oil firms for Venezuela investment. Yes, we're going to use your money, the American taxpayer, to potentially try to build out the infrastructure to pull that oil out of Venezuela. So that way, the American oil companies don't have to take any risk in doing this. Isn't that what you voted? Is this what you voted for? Now, what's another big problem? Well, another big problem is, well, the Senate has just blocked Donald Trump from being able to take any more further military action in Venezuela.
The yeas are 52. The nays are 47. The motion is agreed to. The joint resolution will be placed on the calendar.
Yes, turns out Trump can do no further military action in Venezuela without congressional approval. Well, what does that mean? Well, again, all we did was remove Maduro. We didn't remove the regime. We don't have control of anything. We need the U.S. military if we want to actually facilitate real regime change or actually get control of the oil and the natural resources. But now Trump can't even do that. So what exactly did we just go kidnap Maduro for? I guess like as a show of force to show how badass our military is, because it was a badass raid and it was super impressive what the U.S. military pulled off, but it didn't do anything. It's done nothing. Right? I mean, and if you can explain to me, the people trying to talk shit in the chat, explain to me what we succeeded in. What did we succeed in? Anybody got anything? Yeah, there we go. Leaf got it. On do we run? Because we got nothing moving forward there. We succeeded in nothing. We removed Maduro. It was a show of force, I guess. And nothing changes in Venezuela. Nothing changes for America. Now, we do have this as some positives. There are some positives, at least not in my state. It was almost $4 a gallon when I went and filled up today. I don't know where you guys are at. Supposedly, gas prices are under $3 a gallon. This is actually a good thing. This has nothing to do with Venezuela, by the way, but I don't know how you guys are feeling where you live, but it ain't great here. But supposedly, that's where we're at. Now, there is some good things supposedly coming out as well. Donald Trump came out and said that the U.S. is looking to ban large investors from buying single-family homes. This would be absolutely incredible. What this means is corporations like Blackstone, BlackRock aren't going to be able to buy up shit tons of swaths of single family residences and then rent them out. However, what do you guys think the odds are that actually goes through? Because who do you think owns or runs and operates Blackstone, BlackRock? Well, it's Donald Trump's investors, I guess you could call them. And so I love hearing it. I love the idea. But it feels like the Doge checks. It feels like the tariff refund checks. What was the other one? Oh, no income tax. Remember that? You got promised that eventually there'd be no income tax because of tariffs. It just feels like more like made up fake promises that'll never go through. I would love to see it if Donald Trump actually pushed that forward, which I don't believe he will because the corporations that fund his campaigns will never let it happen. But if it happened, that'd be fantastic. Another one. And Trump is good at doing this, saying stuff that sounds amazing and then not doing anything about it. This is another one. Credit card companies. Donald Trump says, please be informed that we will no longer let the American public be ripped off by credit card companies that are charging interest rates of 20 to 30% and even more when festered unimpeded during the sleepy Joe Biden administration. Affordability, I can't even read the rest of this. But anyway, rates are going to be capped at 10%. This would be fantastic. Fantastic. But guess what? Who would that fuck over the most? Well, guess what? Bill Ackman already came out and said that Trump can't do this because it would absolutely destroy all the banking companies. You know, usury, that thing that's, been banned around the world in a lot of different places because, I don't know, a certain group of people seem to take advantage of loans at exorbitantly high interest and APRs. So it sounds amazing. But is it going to happen? Let's do a poll. Let's see what you guys think. Let's find out. I mean, all these things sound fantastic. But have we seen anything? All of the great things we've heard are coming. Doesn't seem like any of them have come. Will cap and all right, here we go. Do you guys think these policies that they're talking about, a 10% cap on interest rates, credit card interest rates, and a ban on corporations buying single family housing, do you think that Donald Trump will actually put forth the policy that pushes that through? Sounds great. Sounds amazing. Will it happen? That's the big one. You can say whatever you want, but until you actually put something through on policy, then who knows? More stuff with politics. It's getting insane. Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve chairman, is now under investigation by Donald Trump. And again, I'm not necessarily a fan of Jerome Powell, but it's getting crazy out here.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public.
So, essentially what you have here Yeah, he does need a glass of water. Essentially, what you have here is that the Trump administration and Donald Trump is going to bring forth federal criminal charges against Jerome Powell because he's not reducing interest rates as fast as he wants them to. That's it. And I personally, I think we would all love for interest rates to be reduced, but math is involved in this. It turns out that they actually have a system for deciding what interest rates should be. And while, it may sound great, that's normally, in situations where there's high levels of inflation still, when you just reduce the interest rates out of nowhere, it can be a little, who knows? But already, Donald Trump is already putting forward, well, if we get rid of Jerome Powell, who's Trump want to put forward? Oh, Trump's set to interview BlackRock executive Rick Ryder for Fed chair role. So what are we going to do? We're going to remove Jerome Powell from office and put forward a BlackRock executive. I imagine you know what I'm talking about there, with the tiny hat, in charge of the Federal Reserve so that they'll do whatever Donald Trump wants. Yes, great. A BlackRock executive in charge of the Federal Reserve. Sounds like a great fucking idea. I'm sure, there's nothing bad that could come from that, having the Fed being run by BlackRock. But, anyway, by the way, talking about this, did you guys see this? Remember those tariff refund checks, those Doge checks? Donald Trump was asked about that this week, actually yesterday, I believe. And Donald Trump walks back the promise to send $2,000 checks funded by tariff revenue after seemingly forgetting the pledge. During a recent interview with New York Times, Trump said, "When did I do that?" So yes, Donald Trump doesn't even remember that he promised $2,000 refund checks. So for everybody who thought that you were getting those tariff refund checks, Donald Trump doesn't know what you're talking about. According to Donald Trump, he never said that. So, not to mention those Doge refund checks. Also, I do love this clip right here. Donald Trump just the other day said that he was surprised when Jerome Powell was appointed. Well, it turns out in 2017, yes, Donald Trump chose and appointed Jerome Powell himself. As he said here, "It's my honor to announce my nomination of Jerome Powell to be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve." Yes, he again has somehow forgot that the guy he's mad at about being in charge of the Federal Reserve, he put in charge of the Federal Reserve, it turns out. It turns out he's forgot a lot of things. We're gonna see that, and we'll talk a little bit about why that might be. Things are looking potentially even worse economy-wise for Trump, as depending on how this goes, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there is a case going to the Supreme Court regarding the tariffs, that if the Supreme Court rules against Donald Trump's tariffs, we will have to pay back $130 billion that we don't have, by the way. So we'll see what the Supreme Court decides, but all of that tariff revenue and all these great things that are happening, if the Supreme Court goes against that, we're going to owe a lot of money to people that we have and we don't have the money, by the way, because we spend it faster than we can bring it in, even through tariff revenue. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Okay, and then last one, as we talk about the economy here, Asman Gold clip, and I think Asman had a great point here, talking about the difference between 2016, I believe, and today.
Is your life better in the purple block or the red block? Did you have more purchasing power in the purple block or the red block? Overwhelmingly, everybody's saying purple. That's because basing the GDP off of the human centipede of the 5 most valuable and most profitable tech companies in the country is not a very good indicator for where wealth and consolidation of resources actually is.
Yeah.
What about the fact that after COVID, over 90% of the GDP growth and the wealth growth went to the top 1%? GDP is absolutely not a good indicator of what an average person's purchasing power and lifestyle actually is. Was your life better in?
And that's a great point. Is that Asman brings up there is the GDP 4% growth. That looks fantastic. The stock market, all-time highs, looks fantastic. Yes, because there's 6 major tech companies with Google, Amazon, Oracle, Microsoft, NVIDIA, that are essentially AI companies that are just trading funds in a giant circle, as Asman said there, a human centipede of investment. And none of that actually demonstrates anything that the average person, all of us, are actually experiencing in the economy. Right? Like, oh, stock market's at all-time highs. Well, yeah, but we can't afford fucking groceries. So is that really a demonstration of a good economy, or is it all artificially being propped up by this fake AI bubble? Are you talking about Are you talking about me constantly bitching and complaining? Could you imagine not bitching and complaining about what's going on in this fucking country? Could you imagine just, no, I really think it's going good. Donald Trump is really doing a good job. I support the fact that he just threatened to invade 5 different countries. I love the fact the labor market is dead. The average first-time home buyer is 40 years old. I love the fact that the average age of a home buyer in general is 60 years old. I love the fact that, the economy's in the dumpster. I love the fact that, people coming straight out of college, the labor market's dead and they can't afford to live. They can't afford to have a fucking home. I love that. We shouldn't complain about this at all. Yeah, I love the fact that there's 40-year mortgages now. Like, how are you not complaining about this? What world are you living in? And I'm pretty sure the vast majority of those type of comments are coming from, the type of dude that's living in fucking Arkansas, making $9 an hour at Chevron, who's like, yeah, but Trump's owning the libs. He's owning the libs. So stop complaining. It's like, okay, dude. Like, well, the rest of us want to be able to afford our fucking groceries, man. So we're gonna complain about the shit show that we're all looking at. Okay? So you keep enjoying your time living paycheck to paycheck because the libs are getting owned, and the rest of us are going to try to, actually complain about how fucked up this country is right now. Don't mind us, by the way. All right. A couple super chats, and we're going to talk about the military because, yes, we are threatening to invade everyone. It turns out. Yep. All right. Real quick. Here we go. We'll do a couple super chats before we keep moving. Bongino said nothing different than what Trump has been saying. MAGA is what Trump says it is, including covering up for PDFs. Bongino is a symptom. And you know what? And I had a clip that actually showed Bongino's texts going back to 2011, and he has like 40 texts simping for Israel. So we should have actually known ahead of time. But yeah, to your point. Joe says Dan Bongino claims movement to make something out of nothing to sound legit. He was in place to make a difference, and he walked. Just saying, he was in the place to make the most difference and bailed. Bobby says, where were them nuts when you were the deputy director, Dan? Yeah, I agree with you, Bobby. What I love most about VFT is he makes me feel ... about myself. I don't know what that might have been, but hopefully it's a good thing. Was Dan Bongino in Napoleon Dynamite ever get a roundhouse kicked by a guy wearing these? Shows off his screaming eagle draped in American flag pants. That clip gave me PTSD. I mean, yes, I don't know if you guys saw my video on that. I can pull that up. We'll just do the intro because I edited it myself. And you know, when I have some videos where I'm like, that was a solid job at editing, I like to, you know, sometimes I feel proud of myself. So let's just watch the intro of today's video. All right, here we go. If you guys haven't seen this, go ahead and watch it after. But this was the intro to the video I put out on Dan Bongino today.
Double leg, the jump kick, the side kick, the roundhouse, the tie kick. Body.
I want you to kick me. Come on, kick me. Okay, do it again. Do it again. Okay, you'll block it every time. Have a seat.
All right. Anyway, I know it's kind of ridiculous, but sometimes I can get proud of myself for my own editing, which I thought that was a pretty good one. The Napoleon Dynamite editing into that. All right. We have assumed that Dan is in the files. I don't know if he's in the files, but he did a good job covering him up. Who is Bongino supposed to stand up and take down? Trump, the guy that hired him? More chance of him earning back his credibility online? Great point. The guy who hired him is the one he was supposed to expose. Dan Bonginas. Thank you. He shall affectionately be known as Damn Bongina, the goochless wonder who took 6 million cc's of foreign influence in his gaping back end. Oh my God, dude. Wow. Harsh. Bongino should quit his podcast and chase his true calling, touring as a Chino XL impersonator. You guys are rough tonight. Here's a coffee, dude. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate you. A couple more and we'll jump back into it. Pimbla says, when it comes to dogs, Dan is just a yapping chihuahua. Good point. O'Neill says, Dan turning on USA First folks is bad enough, but when he bitched out bringing Dave's family into his tantrum, that was it for me. A man does not do that. The line you do not cross. Fuck him. Yeah, for sure, guys. I mean, like, I've had people do that to me on Twitter. I mean, not that I saw their shit, but people would send me it to, like, send it to me. Like, really? You're gonna attack somebody's family? Really? Like, dude, that's super weak, man. Like, just man up and just take your lickings, talk shit back and forth. It's not that big of a deal. All right, let's jump into it. What were we going to talk about? Oh yeah, we did the economy. All right, let's talk about the military because there's a lot of military shit going on. If you didn't see this, Donald Trump is now suggesting and calling for an increase to the military budget for 2027, proposing a $1.5 trillion defense budget. Donald Trump said our military budget for the year 2027 should not be $1 trillion, but rather $1.5 trillion. This will allow us to build the dream military and keep us safe and secure. Now, you guys know I love the military. It's what I did for a job. Why in the fuck do we need to add 50% to the military budget? What are we talking about? We already have the most brutally oppressive, badass, overwhelming military on the planet. It's not even fucking close. What could we potentially spend $500 billion on? And again, I love the military. This is a guy who loves the military. And even I am saying, hey, maybe we don't need to spend another $500 billion per year on the military, which will all go straight. Keep in mind, let me be very clear. Will all go straight to military industrial complex companies. It will not go to the service members. Okay. None of that money is going to trickle down to the privates at all. Maybe, like, I don't know, we could spend that money on, I don't know, different things. Maybe healthcare. Healthcare might not be a bad idea. I know people will say you're socialist. You're socialist if you'd rather the American people have healthcare instead of another $500 billion to the military. But I don't really know what that money would be used for. But why would we need to increase it to $1.5 trillion? I would assume because we're planning on going to war. Major war. Why else would you need to ramp up the spending 50%? 50%. Which is already our highest expenditure in the United States is the military. And again, I love the military. But I just don't know what the fuck do we need to spend another $500 billion for? Well, and again, here, I'll show you. If you want to get in on the grift, I'll show you some companies you should maybe look at investing in. Not financial advice, but if we are going to increase that spending to $1.5 trillion, here's some great companies to look at. Lockheed Martin. Yes, they will be absolutely receiving a fuck ton of this money. Palantir, of course, is another great one. RTX, another great one. Kratos Defense, another one you should look into. North Group Grumman, another classic. And then General Dynamics, another fantastic one. So if you're interested in profiting off of the future of fucking war and potentially World War III, these are just some companies for you to potentially consider adding to your portfolio. Because, hey, if the world's going to go up in flame and we're going to go to World War III, you might as well make some money off of it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm just saying. Some things to think about. All right. Hold on one second. Lost my tab here. Now, some more military stuff. Glenn Beck. Yes, Glenn Beck. He's going to let us know about what Trump's military plan really is around the world. Let's see what Glenn has to say.
He's not changing a regime. He's changing the global regime. Who runs the global regime? One.
Wait, chat. Before Glenn answers that, who runs the global regime? Before Glenn answers that, who do you think runs the global regime? And we'll see what Glenn has to say about this.
China, Russia, Iran, they're running what I would call the Axis.
Oh, of course.
Powers. We're in a Cold War. Hope to God it never becomes a hot war. But what Donald Trump is building is this arsenal so it doesn't go into a hot war. Two, the WEF. The WEF is the Great Reset. That is a global government run by oligarchs and businesses and banks.
Yes, that Donald Trump supports, that our greatest ally supports. What's this fucking guy talking about? We're going to reset the global regime? The Great Reset. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? We're the ones supporting that. But this is also what's going on. This is Trump's closest military advisor right now, by the way. He was just on a private flight with Trump. Here he is, and he's everywhere right now.
To the people of Iran, we stand with you tonight. We stand for you taking back your country from the Ayatollah, a religious Nazi, who kills you and terrorizes the world. We pray for you. We support you. Donald J. Trump is not Barack Obama. He has your back. And to the Ayatollahs, you need to understand, if you keep killing your people who are demanding a better life, Donald J. Trump is going to kill you. Change is coming to Iran. It'll be the biggest change in the history of the Mideast to get rid of this Nazi regime. To the people of Iran, help is on the way.
So, yes, Lindsey Graham, the same Lindsey Graham who's laughed and joked about Gazan babies being slaughtered, is here to let Iran know Help is on the way. Yes, just like Iraq and Syria and Libya and Lebanon and Sudan. Help is on the way. We're on. Lindsey Graham is here to let you know help is on the way. Yes, Lindsey Graham never met a brown person he didn't want to bomb. Don't worry. Help's on the way. And again, this is the guy that's Trump's closest military advisor right now.
Doesn't apply to Israel or the United States or France or Germany or Great Britain because it wasn't conceived to come after us.
There you go. As Lindsey Graham said there, the International Criminal Court doesn't apply to Israel. So they can do whatever they want. But don't worry, Iran and the Iranian people. Yes, Lindsey Graham is on the way to save you. And again, it's not just that. Who else is on board supporting this? It's the usual suspects.
Obviously, there's a risk-reward calculation here that has to be made by the president of the United States. Tehran is suggesting that it will consider targeting U.S. military facilities as well as Israel if it detects signs of an impending attack. Now, realistically speaking, if Iran were to strike back, let's say that the United States were to fly some F-16s into Iran, take out some IRGC facilities, and then Iran were to fire a bunch.
You wouldn't use F-16s for that, by the way, Ben Shapiro. Just so you know, F-16s are primarily air-to-air aircraft. By the way, Ben Shapiro, fucking retard. Maybe don't weigh in on military shit when you have no idea what you're talking about. Just saying.
Bunch of missiles at Qatari air bases, Al Udeid, for example. First of all, their retaliatory response thus far has been lackluster, shall we say. Israel completely defenestrated Iran's military in the 12-day war earlier last year. But if the Iranian government truly decides to attack American troops in the region in retaliation for a couple of pinpoint strikes, deterring the IRGC from murdering people in the streets, that will be the end of the regime, and it will be performed largely through air power. And obviously...
Okay, yay. Ben Shapiro letting us know why we need to bomb Iran. Oh, uh-oh. Now, how come every time I start talking about the Jays, the stream goes down? Okay? That's 2 for 2. That's 2 for 2. The second I started talking about the Jays, the stream went down. The second I started talking about Ben Shapiro, the stream goes down. That's maybe it's a coincidence. It's happened 2 times tonight. Both times when it's happened has been very, very specific topic. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's a coincidence, guys. Okay. Let's get back to where we were before we ran into that problem there. All right. We just got past Ben Shapiro. Yeah, Benny boy. Okay. Let's get back into it. All right. Again, pretty weird. Pretty weird that's out 2 for 2. The second I started talking about someone specific, we went down. Okay. That's okay. We'll say it's a coincidence. Okay. What else we got going on besides, well, let's see. We went in, bombed Venezuela, kidnapped their leader. Obviously, we're getting ready to invade, bomb Iran. That's most likely going to happen in the next month for sure. We also are threatening to start conducting air strikes, land airstrikes in Mexico against the cartels. So we got that going on as well. Which, you know, okay. We also have this. Yes, we are relocating now our warships because Congress has shut down Donald Trump from doing any more military action in Venezuela specifically. Well, we can look at some other Latin American. We can't play that music. And so, yes, we are now relocating our warships to Cuba. It turns out, because why not? We should add that to the list. What else? Yes, we got this Greenland.
Thing on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland.
No, Russia or China is not going to invade a NATO country. No, they're not. That is not going to happen. But apparently we're
not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay. Right now, we are going.
And so Donald Trump has now ordered our army chiefs, our generals, to draw up a plan to invade Greenland. To invade a NATO ally. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What why are we asking our military generals to draw up plans to invade a European ally? What the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, okay, we want to buy Greenland or whatever, which they'll never sell it to us. Okay, but like we're talking about like using military force to invade an European ally. Seems like a bad idea. But there is this. Donald Trump's reportedly weighing in, paying Greenlanders up to $100,000 per person to join the United States. Not you, the American people, who don't have health care, don't have education, can't afford your groceries. But we're going to pay Greenlanders $100,000 just to become American citizens. I mean, cool for them, although they're Greenland, from what I've seen, is saying, go fuck yourself. We're not interested. But I mean, Trump is even saying, or Marco Rubio has said, Trump will purchase Greenland. If not, he will take it by force. Like, are we literally... Are we really talking about like bombing and invading and killing a Scandinavian ally? But like, should we do a poll? Like, is this... I don't know what world we're living in right now, or we're literally talking about literally bombing and invading a Scandinavian ally, but we're there. I guess, let's do this. Do you support invading Greenland, a literal Scandinavian European ally, as America? I mean, maybe you do, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where we're at in this fucking world right now. But maybe you do, you know, and if you do, I wouldn't be interested to hear about why you think it's a good idea. Because here's the thing, Greenland has already said, like, hey, United States, like, if you want access to our resources, if you want to build military bases here, we're completely fine with that. So it's not like Greenland is saying, go fuck yourselves. They're 100% our ally. They're willing to support us. They're willing to let us use the land to build military bases on it. But we're still like, nah, we gotta invade and take your country from you. It's bizarre, right? Like, and nobody really knows what the hell's going on. But with everything going on, everything we just talked about, this is why this is important. We talked about, well, we just kidnapped Maduro. We're looking at bombing Iran. We're looking at bombing Cuba. We're looking at bombing Mexico, the cartels. We're looking at bombing Colombia. We're looking at potentially bombing Greenland. Donald Trump, again, has broken. He just broke when he bombed Venezuela. He just broke the record, the presidential record for most countries bombed in 1 year. He has that under his belt. He has the record. And this is what he's talking about.
I can't think of anybody in history that should get the Nobel Prize more than me. And I don't want to be bragging, but nobody else settled wars. Obama got the Nobel Prize. He had no idea why. He still has no idea. He walks around, he says, I got the Nobel Prize. Why did he get a Nobel Prize? He got it almost immediately upon attaining office, and he didn't do anything, and he was a bad president. So, I mean, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped. These were major wars. These were wars that nobody thought could be stopped. President Putin called me and he said about 2 of the wars that he's been trying to stop them for 10 years. He wasn't able to do it. He couldn't believe it. So in theory, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped.
So again, he broke the record for most countries bombed in a year by any U.S. president. All of those wars he's claiming he stopped. Let's talk about some. Thailand and the Cambodia border skirmish, not a war, still going on. Israel, Palestine, Gaza, that ceasefire has been broken 1,000 times. They're still just slaughtering Palestinians there. Iran, Israel, 12-day war. I mean, we started that war. So very odd to say that you ended a war that you started. What other ones do we got? Congo. That war is still going on. That war, Rwanda, Congo, that war is still going on, never ended. So I'm just confused because none of those conflicts, they're conflicts, and most of them aren't even wars. One of them is a genocide, obviously. Hasn't stopped any of them. And he's bombed the most countries in presidential history. Oh, yeah, you can tell. You can tell I'm a big Trump guy. So, like, we're talking about the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel Peace Prize. I don't think you win the Nobel Peace Prize by bombing everyone and threatening to invade NATO allies. I just don't think that's how it works. I don't like the Nobel Peace Prize, like when they're deciding who should win, I don't think they're looking at it being like, hey, who bombed the most countries this year? Oh, it was Donald Trump. Oh, well, like we should give him the Nobel Peace Prize because he's killed the most people this year. Like, well, okay. Very, very odd. But he really, really wants it. And what he wants now is Maria Machado's.
Maria Corina Machado. She said to me this week, both on TV and radio, that she wants to give the Nobel Prize, her Nobel Peace Prize, to you for liberating her country. Do you have any plans to meet with her? And would you accept the Nobel Prize she wants to hand to you?
Well, I understand she's coming in next week sometime. And I look forward to saying hello to her. And I've heard that she wants to do that. That would be a great honor.
As soon as I learned that we had been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, I dedicated to President Trump because I believed at that point that he deserved it.
Now, what's the problem? Well, the Nobel Peace Prize organization immediately came out and said, do you know what they say? Yeah, Anonymous got it. They said, sorry, it is not transferable under any circumstance. It cannot be given away. It cannot be gifted. There's no possible way for Donald Trump to receive that Nobel Peace Prize. Sorry. And why would Maria Machado want to give her Nobel Peace Prize to Trump? Well, because he's holding it over her head as the opposition leader to Venezuela, which he can't actually place her anymore because now that the Senate and Congress has made it so he can't continue any military action in Venezuela and the Maduro regime is still in power. Oh no. Sorry, Maria Machado. You're not going to be the leader of Venezuela. Too bad. That's the way it goes. Oh. Uh-oh. Now, the great thing is, with all this going on, George W. Bush has jumped in and said, stating, I never dreamed this day would come. Former President George W. Bush confirmed on Tuesday that he is celebrating no longer having started the dumbest war in U.S. history. When you make a boneheaded mistake as epic as I did, you pretty much assume that no one will ever do something stupider, Bush said. I got to say, I'm pinching myself. The former president admitted, however, if anyone was going out to outdumb me, it's going to be this guy. Look, I might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, he said, but even I know not to stare at an eclipse. So, here's the thing, George W., you still did start the dumbest war since Vietnam. You're just as bad as everybody else. At least you were likable, though. I'm sure that probably wasn't real, by the way. It's probably fake. It's funny. Actually, at this point, with how much George W. Bush hates Donald Trump, that may be real. But we are reminiscing of the old global war on terror invasion of Iraq right now, as we're looking at regime changing literally everyone. Okay, now we're going to move into what's going on with Democrats here next. Let me hit a couple super chats so we don't fall too far behind. Let's see where I was at. Oh my God. Did we do this one? Hold on. Did we do this one, guys? Oh, we did. Yeah, we did that one. We did this one. Okay. I think we're here with that. Bongino should quit his podcast and chase his true calling, touring as a Chino XL impersonator. Oh, no, we got these ones already. Here's a coffee, dude. Greatest channel I've ever seen. Well, thank you. Recycled money. Time to send $1 trillion to Israel. Roddy, we should triple that. Let's triple that. Let's send $3 trillion to Israel. Why not? You must have pissed off the tiny hats. Yeah, that's probably why the channel went down. Thank you. Thanks, brother. Be safe in this world. I also want to know about the thoughts on ICE doing pretty much everything they're doing. We talked about that. Thank you, yours mom. Sean says, you got that Cricket wireless internet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. We've been good ever since. It's just we talked about 2 specific people, and the channel went down both times, and it's been fine outside of that. Very bizarre. Ben, thank you for the generous donation. Says, I'd argue the kill was premeditated. The lady had been following them around, pissing them off. She says, I'm not mad at you, to the agent, implying history of the interaction. The agent walks in front of the car, not fearing for his life. I'm not going to say that it's premeditated at all, necessarily, but I mean, there was absolutely no reason for it, in my opinion. Block the path, claim self-defense, free KIA. T-Rex says, I noticed that I'm not getting shot at law enforcement. I don't tend to get in the way of law enforcement operations, though that's not a good excuse. That's never going to be an excuse. Like, oh, hey, I was around a cop, so you deserve to get shot in the face. No, that's not going to be an excuse. That's not how America works. You just don't, you're not automatically just entitled to get executed in the street because you didn't comply with law enforcement. Turns out that's not actually how the law works. Completely ignoring that she blocked them in for 4 minutes and was ordered multiple times to exit the vehicle. Idiots were really, because what we saw was her wave on the ICE officers. Like this. Hey, go ahead. And she wasn't actually the one blocking the street. It was the car in front of her. You should watch more videos on that. They couldn't just come out and say, whoops, more training. I'm going to show, like, some people breathe, they'll cover up anything. They do need more training. Funny how they that don't try to help me crowd turns back the blue no matter what. Oxymoronic. Look, and I don't have a problem with supporting law enforcement, but you can't blindly support law enforcement. Okay? Like, yes, I support law enforcement, but not when they do stupid shit and kill American citizens needlessly. It turns out that there is some nuance and context to this, that you can support law enforcement, but also not support dumb decisions by law enforcement. It's crazy how that works. Funny how we got that one already. I was law enforcement and I will list the issues. Filming on his phone even as he drew his weapon. Yeah, that's weird, wasn't it? Standing in front of the vehicles, no felony takedown, not using his vehicle pin, unprofessionalism. There you go. From a cop himself. And a lot of cops I've seen have said this exact same thing as well. Assuming he is even prosecuted in federal court, my guess is that he gets pardoned, assuming he doesn't get charged with state court. I don't think he's getting charged with anything. I'm not going to simp for the federal government. Yeah. I'm not going to simp for the federal government. 22 years of GWAT and seeing insurgents everywhere. All right, a couple more, and then we're moving back. His prior USAS, United States Air Force security forces, which I know is a glorified security guard, but but you guys deal with a lot of this type of stuff. But they definitely taught us not to stand in front of a vehicle. You are not a barricade. Do not put yourself in danger. To Chad, argument invalid. Yeah, and you guys deal with this exact type of stuff all the time. Preach it, Nate. When you are the authority, you have responsibility beyond the public at large. It's 47 days training in the 47th president. How stupid? Yes. When you are the law enforcement officer and you're the one with the firearm, you have a higher level of responsibility than everyone else around you. 40% of ICE agents failed the reading and writing section of the course. Is this chump administration hiring albino Somalis or something? I didn't know that. If that's true, that's wild. Wouldn't be surprised if that was actually true. All right, let's jump into it. There's some actual hilarious stuff going on with Democrats right now. And let's kick it off. There is a beef between Gavin Newsom and Benny Johnson going on right now. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but yes, Gavin Newsom and Benny Johnson are beefing on the internet. So Benny Johnson posted this. Fraud investigation announcement. Next week, our team is traveling to the fraud capital of the world, California. The fraud uncovered in Minnesota was very bad and led to the destruction of Tim Walz's career. But Gavin Newsom's California is far worse. And what did Gavin Newsom reply and say? We'll make sure the Grindr servers are ready. Now, you guys know I'm not a Gavin Newsom fan at all. Okay. He terrifies me because I think he's going to be the next president. But holy shit, dude. Based as fuck. I mean, if Gavin Newsom keeps up that type of energy, everybody's fucked. Everybody is hosed. And Benny Johnson then tried to come out and respond. And, you might not be able to see this as it's a little too small here. But Benny Johnson said, Gavin, so your response to evidence of mass fraud in California is to accuse me of cheating on my wife. I've never cheated on my wife. We've been together for nearly 20 years. Gavin, you cheated on your wife with your secretary, who was married to your best friend and campaign manager. You admitted to all this. Public. Yikes. Now, while that is true, here's the problem. If I was Benny talking about cheating on my wife, at least according to Milo, yes, Gavin Newsom did cheat on his wife with, I believe, his best friend's wife. He also wasn't cheating on his wife with dudes like you're accused of, Benny. I'm just saying. Glass houses, right? Pots and kettles, Benny. Like, maybe don't try to send the insult back to Gavin talking about cheating on his wife when everybody's saying you cheated on your wife with a bunch of fucking dudes at, what was it? AmFest? Not AmFest, but the SAS, right? I'm just saying, like, be careful with the insults you hurl. Because according to Milo in the, the gay in the closet MAGA nether, which is its own thing. It is its own thing. Your wife was crying in the fucking lobby of SAS 3 years in a row because you were upstairs allegedly doing shit with dudes. So this is a weird beef. It's a weird fucking beef. Just Gavin Newsom versus Benny Johnson was not on my 2026 bingo card as who's gayer or who's cheating on their wife more. So it's going to get interesting as this one goes forward. Look, I don't know what these guys are up to and what they're doing in their private lives, but maybe they should both just, chill out a little bit. That's with that. All right, more Democrat stuff. What's going on? Yes, Tim Walz said to Republicans, expect me to ride you like you've never been ridden. Yes, he's feeling some type of way, I guess. Very odd. And then what happened? Yeah, Tim Walz then announced that he's no longer running for governor. And I think, regardless of what we know about the fraud in Minnesota, Minnesota is struggling right now. This is where everything from the Somali fraud allegations to what just happened with ICE, all of this is happening to George Floyd. All of this is happening in Minneapolis. And I would say for Tim, hey, man, you're in charge and your state is fucked up, bud. So it might just be time for you to head off into the distance, buddy. After you got blown out in the presidential election, after you've been completely embarrassed, I think it's time for Tim to ride off into the sunset. Said no balls, Tim Walz. Look, it is what it is. All right, one more with the Democrats. This is hilarious. Beef between AOC and Jesse Waters. Let's see who we're going to defend here. This could be an interesting one. Let's see what's going on with the beef between AOC and Jesse here real quick.
He has sexualized me on his show. He has sexually harassed me on his show. He has engaged in horrific, sexually exploitative
That's
rhetoric.
not true, Congresswoman.
It is true. It is true because he accused me of wanting to quote unquote sleep with Stephen Miller. So why don't you tell me what you think is acceptable to tell a woman? Thank you.
AOC wants to sleep with Miller. It is so obvious, and I'm sorry, you can't have him. This is what AOC doesn't get about men. Miller is a high-value man.
Okay. Let's let him finish.
Because he has power and influence, because he has vision, and he's on a mission to save this republic and protect Western civilization. He speaks with confidence and flair, and he's unafraid of anything.
Stephen Miller. Let's bring up Stephen Miller. This is who Jesse Waters is claiming is a high value man. That's out of AOC's league, by the way. Yes. This guy, 5'2", 110 pounds of Stephen Miller is a high value man. That's just, could you, like, Jesse Waters did what? What are you talking about? AOC, reality is, hey, AOC, big booty Latina, way outside the fucking league of some 5'2" dipshit, bald, 110 pound Stephen Miller. Come on. What are we talking about here? And so, look at this guy's defending Stephen Miller. Imagine coming in here to defend Stephen Miller. Oh my God. Look at this guy. What a fucking simp, dude. Like, imagine the type of grown man that's in my chat simping for Stephen Miller. Imagine how fucking pathetic. Imagine how fucking pathetic of a man this guy's got to be. Simping for Stephen Miller. I'm sorry, dude. We always got one. We always have one. There's always one on the live streams. Okay, we're talking about AOC, man. You might not agree with AOC's politics. But my God, dude, what are we talking about here? This fucking 5'2" fucking Nazi dork is a high value man. Okay, and what fucking where's the ladies in the chat? I know we got a lot of ladies in the chat. Ladies, is Stephen Miller a high value man? Oh my God. Yeah, ladies, what do you think? Is Stephen Miller your type of high value man? I don't think there's a single woman in the chat that's going, yeah, that's who I'm looking for to procreate with. Stephen Miller. Let's do it. Yeah, let's get a poll. It's just, again, imagine being Jesse Waters and actually trying to fucking say that, dude. Like, what are you doing, man? Whether you're Democrat, Republican, moderate, it doesn't matter. Like, come on, dude. All right. All right, who are you choosing? You got to choose AOC or Stephen Miller. Okay. All right. It's just, again, guys, sorry. It's just, somebody just said, where is this? This is like the best comment I've ever seen. Hunter says, even the gays are disgusted. Okay. All right, that's a funny one right there, Hunter. Well done. Okay. Anyway, let's keep moving beyond that. We still got some more. We got some cringe shit from Democrats as well. Yeah, so Democrats held a candlelight vigil for January 6th, which you can't make this up. Regardless of how you feel about this, I mean, what are we doing, guys? Yeah. Candlelight vigil. I think I got another one here. Like, guys, oh, here we go.
They were forced to engage in hand-to-hand combat.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
Confronting thousands of bloodthirsty rioters who were unleashed by Donald Trump. They were beaten with pipes, whipped.
What? Who is he talking about? Who's beaten and whipped during January 6th? Now, again, I think January 6th was fucking stupid. All the people involved were fucking idiots. But, like, what are you talking about, dude? Who was beaten and whipped at the Capitol?
Assaulted by bear spray. And
who had the bear spray? It was the cops.
Pummeled by Confederate flagpoles. We'll now ask everyone to join us in a moment of silence.
Okay, guys. Like, look, January 6th, fucking dumb, right? But at the same time, candlelight vigils, people being beaten and whipped. Like, okay. Let's fucking a moment of silence. Let's relax. Let's relax a little bit. Democrats, come on. We're also talking about something that happened, 6 years ago? Okay, let's just kind of just chill out a little bit, guys. All right, now, unfortunately, I have to put this in Democrats because it's foreign countries, but they're socialist governments, so they have to fall on the left. Canada's got some weird shit going on. If you guys haven't seen this, Canada is now providing up to 12 months of income support and settlement services for LGBTQ refugees. This is real. So yes, the policy partnered with Rainbow Railroad since 2023 helps resettle those fleeing violence and discrimination, providing taxpayer-funded aid amid rising global persecution. What the fuck? Canada, what do you guys have going on there? Are LGBTQ people are they being attacked in Canada? What are we talking about? You're like the most liberal fucking country in the world. What do you literally, it's like they're talking about slaves, like income support and settlement services for escape. Like, what are we doing? What, like, these countries, some of these, like, you think crazy shit in America is going on, and then you look at like some of our allies here. Here's another one. The UK, Australia, and Canada as well are trying to ban X, trying to ban Twitter. When why? Well, because you have freedom of speech on Twitter. And not only that, here's Britain or the UK. The UK has now arrested more than 12,000 people for speech online. 12,000 people for speech online. That's insane. Nope, I'm not. I'm right. 100% right. You're wrong. I'm right. Sorry. That's the way it goes. It's my channel. My channel, my stream. You're wrong. I'm right. That's the way it goes. It's unfortunate. All right. But yeah, so what the fuck is going on? What is going on with some of these countries? Like LGBTQ immigration processes. You got Twitter being banned. You got the UK putting tens of thousands of people in jail for saying mean things online. It's actually one of those things where, yeah, so exactly. This is what I was just about to say, YT, is like, this is what we have to be concerned with, because if it's happening in places like Britain and France and Australia, Canada, it's not that far away from happening here. And it's scary. And this is what I tell people. I'm like, especially when I tell Republicans, because Republicans are gonna get blown out in the midterms, and highly likely Gavin Newsom wins in 2028, and you have, a Democrat controlled Congress with Gavin Newsom, and they're not going to fuck around once they get power. They're not going to be like Donald Trump and Republicans who do literally nothing with the power. And very, very likely that is going to be some of the very first things that happen, is that you're going to see, and we saw these same types of things during COVID, right? We're going to see those same types of things happen. And that's one of the biggest things as a conservative, and why I'm so critical of how shitty fucking Republicans are, is that's what's going to come. Whether you like it or not, we've already seen it. It already happened during COVID. And it's happening all across our allies. Canada, Australia, Europe, UK. It's kind of scary. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's move on. Republicans. Now we bash Democrats. We're, of course, going to bash. We're going to, of course, bash Republicans, right? We bash Democrats. We're going to bash Republicans next, because that's what we do, because everybody sucks, turns out. And yes, this is what we're going to start with. Reminder, the Trump administration was required by law to release the Epstein files by December 19th. It is January 13th, by the way, and still has not released 99% of the files. You guys forget about this? And all the chaos and all the drama? You think this is Trump derangement syndrome? Well, you support pedophiles, so yeah, I'm proud to have TDS if it means I don't support pedophiles, by the way, unlike you. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm one of the only people that still talked about this. I just made a video about this like 4 days ago. Where are the fucking Epstein files? Nobody's talking about this anymore. Nobody cares, apparently, outside of like us. Like, hey, remember the Epstein files? Like 99% of them that you still haven't released, that were due 3 weeks ago? Where the fuck are they at? And guess what? We're not going to get them. We're not going to get anything, guys. They did the distraction. The Trump administration is just not going to release anymore, by the way. Like at all. We're not going to get any more of the files, guys. They gave us 119 pages of fully redacted bullshit, and they were like, there you go. That's all you get. Fuck off, America. We're not going to get any more of them. That's what's so insane is that's all it took was just all it took was a military operation going and kidnapping Maduro. That's all it took for everybody to just be like, not us in the channel, but like American society to be like, whoops, we forgot. We're good. No big deal. Don't worry about it. Who's talking about it in mainstream media? Fox News isn't. CNN isn't. MSNBC isn't. Even the Democrat news outlets are not saying anything about this. And even on social media, there's only a few YouTubers who are like me who are even fucking saying anything about this anymore. Like the vast majority of them are just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. That was good enough. We got some redacted slop, and I guess we'll call that cool, which to me is crazy. All right, hold on one second. Sorry, guys. Donald Trump came out and said he's a little bit worried because he said I'll get impeached if House Republicans lose the midterms. And then I think I have an actual. Oh, here we go. We'll get an actual clip of him talking about it as well.
The midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be. I mean, they'll find a reason to impeach me.
Well, they don't really need to find. They don't really need to find one at this point, but
I'll get impeached. We don't impeach them. You know why? Because they're meaner than we are. We should have impeached Joe Biden for 100 different things. They are mean and smart, but fortunately for you, they have horrible policy.
Okay. All right, guys. What do we think? We can do a poll on that. See what you guys. Oh, it looks like AOC over Stephen Miller. 22% of the chat chose Stephen Miller over a big booty Latina. Wow. 22% of the chat is super gay, by the way. I didn't realize I had so many gay followers. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. We support the gay community on this channel, but I didn't realize 22% of you are gay. So I guess we have that going for us. That's a good statistic for me to understand. I didn't realize that we had that many gay viewers. But okay, good to know. All right, let's do a new poll. Will Trump be impeached? Well, I guess after the midterms, right? Well, it might not actually be after the midterms if they get Republican support, which they could. So we'll just say, will he be impeached? No, it's not 22% Nazis. They're just gay dudes, which again, I have no problem with. I'm a very socially liberal guy, by the way. Been very clear about that. I'm supportive of the LGBT community on this channel. I just didn't realize I had that many followers, that many gay followers on the channel. So welcome. Anyway, sorry. All right, let's see what else Trump's got going on. All right, we got this.
I got to look at this myself.
By the way, he just stood up in the middle of a giant fucking meeting to go look at a ballroom that he, by the way, I've seen people show he can't even see from this window, by the way.
Wow. What a view. This is the door to the ballroom. Wow.
Just, could you imagine just in the middle? Look at how big this meeting is. I believe it's oil executives just randomly in the middle of the meeting, stands up and goes, I got to get a look at this ballroom that I can't actually see from this window. Walks up, looks out the window, can't actually see the ballroom. Wow, that's a good looking ballroom. There's no way this dude doesn't have dementia, by the way. I mean, at some point we have to We got to be honest with ourselves at some point here, guys. Right. That's probably the next poll. Will Trump be impeached? 70-30. If Democrats win the midterms, he'll 100% be impeached. 100% be impeached. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go through and he's going to be removed from office. I don't know if they'll have the actual numbers for that. But actual impeachment processes, I believe, yeah, for sure he's going to get impeached. Doesn't mean he's going to be removed from power or removed from office. Let's do another poll here. Let's do a dementia poll. See what you guys think. Does Trump have dementia? Question mark. See what you guys think. We're democratic around here. We love to see what the audience thinks. But I mean, there's some bizarre shit going on with old Trump daddy. All right. Okay. As we do that, I want to show you guys this. It's been announced. I don't know how they thought this was a flex. Like, it's so weird to me. Boom! Exclamation. JD Vance announced we are adding a new position, Assistant Attorney General, to help with the prosecution and fraud cases. Fraudsters have no place in this country. Denaturalize and deport. They're adding a new position, Assistant Attorney General. Assistant Attorney General, because Pam Bondi, she does need help because she's managed to do literally fucking nothing in 11 months. So maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is a good thing that we get her a deputy attorney general because she has no fucking clue what she's doing. And she hasn't managed to, I don't know, what has she accomplished? We've got zero arrests by Pam Bondi. Zero for anything. Like, dislike, Epstein files, COVID, Fauci, Russia, like January 6th, name 1,000 different things. Zero people have been arrested. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe she needs a little assistance. She needs a little help. And maybe that's how we'll start getting some accountability. Now, last couple things for Republicans moving forward. This, I think, Tucker had on Florida governor candidate Fishback, who I think he's been doing a great job, by the way. And Tucker says that pretty soon, all winning Republicans will speak like James Fishback. And I've got some clips of James Fishback. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with him already. Very America first. We'll have to see what he actually turns out to be. But so far, pretty good.
Ban Blackstone, any private equity firm, any Airbnb speculator, and any foreign national from buying a single family home in this state of Florida. You don't get to have a right to our homes. America's for Americans. And I don't think it's okay that a Chinese national, a Russian national, or an Israeli national can come here and outbid a family that's known this state for 2-3 generations and say, you know what? That home that you wanted to buy to get married to your wife and to have 3 kids, that's not available anymore because a foreign national wants to vacation here for 5 weeks out of the year.
Man, you're spinning me up.
So Fishback, very, very America first. He's looking at decoupling $300 million, which I didn't even know this, but apparently Florida sends $300 million a year to Israel. By the way, the state of Florida sends $300 million of Florida taxpayer dollars to the state of Israel every year. He's looking to decouple and remove that funding, obviously, and a bunch of other stuff too, which why the fuck do we have states, U.S. states, sending hundreds of millions of fucking dollars to foreign countries? What? What? I mean, obviously knew the federal government was doing that, but then you see this and you go, oh, that's right. And this was the statistic I was talking about earlier. Yes, out of 535 members of Congress, only 10 of them reject AIPAC money. 525 members, 98.2% of Congress are paid to put Israel's interests before yours. That's not good. That is not good, ladies and gentlemen. 98.2% of our politicians, 98.2% of our politicians take Israel's AIPAC money. And we're going to do a poll real quick too. Considering 98.2% of politicians take money from our greatest ally, we would expect if I do a poll and say, do you support politicians taking money from AIPAC, that 98% of you would say yes, because our politicians are so supposed to be beholden to what we want as American citizens. That's why we put them in power, to act out in our own interests, right? So the next poll, and it looks like 75% of you think Donald Trump does have dementia. That's actually a lot lower than I expected to see. The next poll, and I expect to see 98% yes of you agree with this, but we'll have to wait and see. Or politicians taking money from AIPAC. We should see a similar number, right? If 98.2% of our politicians are taking money from AIPAC, we should expect to see something similar in support from the American people. It's just the way it works. This is how politics works. Okay? Now, we're going to jump into more of our greatest ally. We're 2.5 hours in, which means the algorithm is fairly safe. We don't have to worry too much about being destroyed. So that's what we're going to jump into next as you guys fill out that poll. And again, I'm not going to look at it yet, but I'm expecting about a 95+% of you supporting yes, that you do support our politicians taking money from AIPAC once I look at it. Now, turns out, yes, look at this. Israel was the #1 travel destination for members of Congress in 2025 by a lot. Huh. Yes, according to the data from the House Committee of Ethics compiled by Amanda Weiss, members and staff of the House of Representatives accepted 156 trips to Israel in 2025. Most of these trips were fully funded by AIPAC's nonprofit arm and represent over 25% of all congressional trips last year. Yeah, that tiny little country with 9 million people in the middle of the Middle East. Don't know why our politicians seem to need to go there more than any other fucking country in the world, constantly, nonstop. I don't know what you guys think about that. Here we go. U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee. Yes, this guy. He really is America first, if you know anything about Mike Huckabee. What did he just say recently, 2 days ago? He said, Israel will strike Iran alone if needed. It doesn't need the United States' permission. That's really interesting to me. Why don't they need the United States permission to strike with our weapons that we provide with our taxpayer dollars? We pay for everything. We pay for all the bombs. We pay for the jets. We pay for the planes. We pay for the military. We pay for everything. Shouldn't that mean they do need our permission? Am I confused on that? Because as far as I look at the world, if I am completely funding you, no, you actually do have to ask my fucking permission before you do something. And that's the U.S. ambassador to Israel saying, the U.S. ambassador, not the Israeli ambassador to the United States saying that. This is the U.S. ambassador, a U.S. citizen, saying that about a foreign country. That they don't need permission to bomb countries with our money and our bombs. What do you mean they don't need our permission? If they don't need our permission, they don't need our fucking money. That's the way I look at it. If you want to do things autonomously, Israel, that's fine. Go ahead. But no more fucking money. No more bombs. Do it on your fucking own. That's the way I look at it. Seems to me like they do need our permission. Now, this clip is wild, and we're going to talk about it. I'm shocked that this was allowed to happen.
You've been accused of being a war criminal. That if you went to go to several countries in Europe, you're going to get arrested. This is not just mad campus radicalism. This is a feeling around the world. You said it yourself to us just now. In public opinion around the world, Israel is doing very poorly. And it's doing very poorly because people see a country that is behaving in a way that is not compatible with being a liberal democracy. And therefore, I think you have a problem. I think that loss of public opinion, what struck me from your autobiography was how subtly and for how long you have understood this. You know that political power comes from public opinion, and you know that you need to win the battle of public opinion, and you're losing it. You've absolutely lost it in Europe, but much more worryingly for you, you're losing it in America. Israel is behaving in a way that we think is incompatible with the kind of liberal democracy that we claim.
Well, the liberal democracies, the ideas, the values that we cherish,
But Prime Minister, it really isn't just extreme radicals. There are huge numbers of people who are concerned about Israel's behavior, frankly, including people like me.
So that woman is based. She's probably dead, by the way. For her to have the audacity to fucking say that to his face, based. Good for her. She's a fucking savage, by the way. I don't think she's probably not alive, but good for fucking her. I mean, look at his. Did you guys see his face? He was fucking shocked that someone was speaking that way, straight to his fucking face. Absolute savage. Good on that reporter. I wish we had reporters with the balls to say fucking anything like that. That was recent. And again, she's probably dead. And I don't say that as a joke. I say this hardly any way that she got away with that. But I mean, good for her. Like, I've never seen anybody stand up and say that to his face before. Savage. Now, what do we have going on here? Oh, here we go. Donald Trump's quote. My daughter happens to be Jewish. Beautiful. 3 grandchildren are Jewish. I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of that whole family. I'm the least anti-Semitic person probably there anywhere in the world. Trump. It's like we just can't talk about anything else. It's like this fucking guy can talk about all he cares about, all policy, just everything revolves around this at all times. No matter what, you know, he's the first Jewish president. We know that, which is fine. But like, at some point, man, it's getting out of control. This is a great clip by Dave Smith, by the way. This is Marion Abelson, who literally, again, is who completely controls Donald Trump at this point.
Marion Abelson is a Palestinian. She was born before the creation of the state of Israel in what is today Israel. Am I right about this? What year? Born in 1945 in, you could say Israeli American, but there's no such thing as Israel in 1945. Israel wasn't created till 1948. She was born in Palestine.
She was born in Tel Aviv, Mandatory Palestine.
Mandatory Palestine. Right. Now, he was born in America. He is on record saying that his biggest regret in life is that he wore the American military uniform and not the IDF uniform.
Really?
So these are like Israel firsters, right? Openly. Yeah. And Donald Trump says as much. Nobody has been molded into more of a puppet for the Adelsons than Donald Trump. Yep. He'll go, they gave me a lot of money and they called me all the time and it's always for Israel and I do it all.
Miriam gave my campaign indirectly and directly $250 million. She was number one.
Miriam Adelson.
I mean, they say it out loud. He says it fucking completely. He just says it out loud. They don't hide it anymore. It's right in your fucking face. They don't care. And shit's getting even crazier. In the Knesset, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it wasn't just Tucker. They called both Tucker and Candace Owens out, excuse me, as being the greatest threat to Israel. This just got put out in the Knesset that Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are the greatest threats to Israel. That's scary. That's scary when the Knesset comes out and says that 2 American podcasters are the greatest threats to that country. Somebody said they ain't safe. Yeah, that's not good. They should be both. Candace and Tucker should both take that very, very seriously. Because we know that country does not fuck around when it comes to who they think is the greatest threats. And that was in the Knesset, guys. The Knesset, if you don't know what the Knesset is, that's their parliament. That's their Congress. They're calling out American podcasters as being the greatest threat to their country. Yikes. That's, somebody said 2 more Charlies. It's scary, dude. Like the fact that they're saying shit like that in the Knesset. Ugh. And to my point, let's look what happens. The judge, this is an Israeli judge, presiding over Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption case, was found dead. Yes, he got killed when he was on his motorcycle. Hit and run, turns out. Never found the guy that hit him. I wonder why. So this is what they're doing to judges in their own country. Yeah, I'm sure it's organic. I'm sure that was a big fucking whoopsie. This is real, guys. This happened this week. The judge in charge of Netanyahu's corruption case found dead. They don't give a fuck. They call you a threat. It gets real. It gets real for them, man. Very, very skinny. Very, very scary. All right. I believe. Oh, last one before we hit super chats. Call it a complete show. So there was an investigation done that about half of politically active Israeli social media accounts are bots. Many boosting posts by PM Netanyahu and his coalition allies. So this actually isn't that surprising. We saw this with Ukraine as well. There was huge bot pushes, bot farms that would actually pay creators as well to push content. So when you see content from people like, oh, I don't know, maybe the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Officer Tatum, Benny Johnson, these are all accounts that may have a little bit of help in the viewership from our greatest allies, bots. Just some things to think about when you're wondering, why is anybody watching Ben Shapiro again? Well, a lot of those numbers are a little bit fabricated, it turns out. So, yes, we are waking up. Thank God we are waking up. We're on our way. We're on our way there. Okay, guys. We are done with the regular scheduled live stream for tonight. We will now move into the rest of the super chats. Thank you all so much for everybody that stuck in. We had a pretty big show tonight. Love to see it on a random Tuesday politics stream. So if you guys want to stick around for the super chats and continue to hang out and engage with that, that's great. If not, then this is the end of the show. And yeah, let's jump into it. Let's hit it. Let's roll through the super chats and then we'll find our way out of here. All right, here we go. Let's jump into it. We're a little bit behind because we're kind of cooking tonight, trying to get through everything. So we might be a little bit backed up from where we were talking about, but here we go. All right, 40% of the ICE agents. Oh, we got this one already. We need a lot more real honorable cats like you in the world. Respect for pushing back on these sad clowns supporting Chumpstein. Thank you very much. Criminals have unrestricted Second Amendment. You crazy? Criminals have unrestricted Second Amendment. They don't. I'm not sure what you meant by that. Thank goodness the Republicans finally passed the showerhead bill. Vinny is 5'7", 276-pound ICE agent. Well, hopefully he's jacked out of his mind. 5'7", 275. That's like a professional bodybuilder or morbidly obese. We don't know. Funny how people claim to follow Jesus want ICE to kill unarmed citizens for minor offenses. Just for speech. It's the opposite of Christ. Yeah, it's weird how it's the evangelical crowd that's like cheering on this the most. Which does happen. If it would have been a conservative or a Republican that was killed, obviously it'd be completely opposite. But that's how this like tribalistic lines are being drawn. So, Bobby says, if this guy was drugged down the road, if this guy was drugged down the road 6 months earlier, he was physically and mentally cured to be back in that role. I feel DHS messed up by putting this guy back out there. Yeah. So to Bobby's point, supposedly this guy had been run over before already. And so the question then is like, does this guy have PTSD? Is that why he panicked and fucking unloaded his firearm immediately in a situation he shouldn't have. We don't know, but I have heard this, is that he had been like, if you're getting run over multiple times as a law enforcement officer, you know, once is a whoopsie, second time's a coincidence, third's like maybe it's your fault, you know, just something to think about. Served as infantry with the 2nd LAR in Iraq. When we did vehicle checkpoints, we never, ever got in front of a vehicle. And yeah, you don't shoot people in the face either. These idiots aren't trained. Why would you put yourself in front of a fucking vehicle while it's turned on and somebody's driving? That's fucking dumb. Anybody, any of us. Yeah, you're not going to stop a fucking vehicle with your body. So again, that's something the Supreme Court's ruled on, by the way, before, that exact thing, and not in the favor of law enforcement. Iron Will says, this is wild. The MAGA crowd went from anti-bootlickers to stomp on me, Daddy Trump. Honestly, the division is becoming palatable and helping nobody but the billionaires that want us controlled or dead. Pray for the sheep. Great point. This was perfect. Like, these types of things are exactly what they want. They want you distracted. They want left-right division so that left and right are attacking each other, not paying attention to shit like the fucking Epstein files. This is what they want. And you should know that. When you start to see this left versus right, Muslim versus Christian, it's all by design. Because that keeps you not paying attention to the fucking pedophile elites that just get to continue operating as usual. Or Iran, Venezuela. All of this shit is big distractions. And we know that because look at the Epstein files. They're not getting released now. So great point. Just Nobody says JD Delay is posting AI videos making fun of an innocent woman being shot in the face while defending ICE. The whole time you should talk to him. I have talked about JD. I've talked to JD extensively about this. I've criticized him a lot for it privately as friends, but I mean, he has his own feelings about it. We disagree vehemently about this particular one, but he's one of my good friends, man. And we're not going to agree on everything, which is fine. You know what I mean? But we do not agree on this situation at all. That doesn't mean I'm right. That doesn't mean he's wrong. But it turns out when you are really good friends with someone, you can actually disagree on things and still be friends, you know? So that's the way it goes. But yeah, we don't agree on this one. That's for sure. But I love him to death. So it is what it is. ISIS Trump's army against the American people. Have you seen all the testimony of a military man, Sasha Riley? Trump did him at age 12, also snapped Dodd's neck to shut him up. It's a real adoptive parents sold him for $5,000 every encounter. What in the fuck? Sasha. Oh, somebody mentioned Sasha Riley before. It's not the first time I've seen that comment. I have to look into that. This is like the second time I've seen that exact same thing. So this might be something I need to look into. Let me write that down. I can't give you any more context on it because, again, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but multiple people have brought up that name before in that context, so we'll look it up. Thank you. Minnesota ICE situation. I'm a small government guy. Don't like this sort of thing happening. Appreciate your nuanced take on the incident. Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, guys, that doesn't mean I'm right, but I'm passionate about it. Okay. And this is how I am. And you guys should know this by now. Nate does not shy away from his own opinions. Even if my own chat or community doesn't necessarily agree with me, I am not going to placate towards a political party. You know, I will just put my opinions out there. And, you know, I think that's what's important to do. Don't be scared to put your opinions out there, guys. As long as you can do it respectfully, it is what it is. I think we need more of that. Absolutely want to see people who want me gone. Sam Hyde beam, absolutely slimed. And I hate MAGA. We love Sam Hyde. Sam's hilarious. Ginger Snap says January 6th, peaceful protest. Lesbian waving and slowly driving a minivan in federal agents' direction. Domestic terrorists. The MAGA mental gymnastics is just embarrassing. Yeah, both are terrible events. Both are fucked up. I think everybody involved in all these things are probably doing things wrong. But to your point, yeah. One situation where we hate federal agents and another situation were cheering on federal agents. It's a little bizarre. And it's really just because of who's in power. If the Democrats were in power right now, then you would have Republicans losing their minds over this exact same event. Just the way it goes. Decorticate posture. She slammed on accelerator. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I've watched the video a lot of times. Looked like she was moving about 3 miles per hour before she was shot. There's fat shaming, gay shaming, white, black, red, yellow, and brown shaming. Bongino is shaming the all and only American patriot. Thank you for ongoing service, Nate. Thank you, Celtic. I appreciate it. Yeah. Dan Bongino's decision to attack America first is, again, bold strategy, Cotton, as my favorite dodgeball clip would say. Politicians are supposed to bring us together and be level-headed. They're supposed to. They sure haven't done that in a long time, have they? Not pushing extreme narratives on either side. Let police work with ICE and get ICE off the streets. I agree with that. For sure. I would much rather have actual trained police officers handling that type of stuff in the streets than ICE officers with 45 days training. For sure. I agree with you on that. Makes the job for real cops 1,000 or 1,000 times harder. We just started gaining trust back. Post BLM, real cops want to serve their own towns and protect it. This is a really good point, man. Really, really good point. And we do. Like, I've got a bunch of friends that are law enforcement officers. I train law enforcement departments, sheriff departments locally. Super supportive of law enforcement, but there's limits to it. You support law enforcement until they make fucking poor decisions, and then you should criticize that. That's how things should work. And it works the same for the military. This is why we have things like war crimes. There should be barricades in place to keep you within a window of doing what you're supposed to do. We should not just say, well, you can fuck up and do whatever you want, shoot somebody in the face for no reason, and like you're good to go. That's not a situation we want to be in my opinion. And that's why I'm very critical of this specific event. She was a human being just like Charlie, indefensible. Oh yeah, as military security forces, you can't just pepper spray someone for standing there, and you have to provide aid after. That we also didn't see, which is also a requirement. Did you guys know this? Let me, and this is going to be another thing of why I'm critical. Did you guys know in war, and we've literally had this happen on missions I've been on, if we shoot combatants, okay, for example, a combatant that was shot by one of my best friends right next to me, who wheeled around a corner and got away, and we found him later with the gun on the ground, and he's laying on the ground, he's still alive. Do we just roll up and shoot him in the face? No, we are required to render aid to enemy combatants that are no longer a threat in war. In war. My buddy my 18 Delta had to go fucking treat the same dude he shot. The same guy he shot, he had to go render aid to, provide medical treatment to, because he was no longer a threat. And so what we saw in the ICE situation is after she was shot, they refused to render aid to her, and they also stopped a fucking doctor from rendering aid to her. So, to my point, if I've watched Green Berets render aid to fucking Taliban insurgents after they've shot them, but yet ICE didn't render aid to an American citizen. Sorry, dude. Like, this is why I'm passionate about these fuck ups. Is because if we have to provide aid to fucking terrorists after we shoot them, how are we not doing that to American citizens? Right? And we all watched that video. We all watched that video of that woman slumped face first in the car as a doctor is screaming, please let me help her. And they go, no. We all watched that. So I'm just telling you guys, in war, I've literally watched one of my buddies after he shot a guy have to save his life afterwards. So keep that in mind. Keep that type of thing in mind when we look at stuff like this. All right. Jay Carver says it doesn't matter if it's self-defense or not. You can be punished either way for putting yourself in jeopardy via federal, the state, or both. CPB got in front of cars to justify murders in 2010. Interesting. When the only part of the government that is limited is training, that's a hell of a problem, right? Like they have a massive budget. Why? 45 days training is not enough for anything when it comes to this type of situation. Pimbla says militarized police with no badges and hidden identity. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, this is another thing. The whole like unmarked vehicles, mass, not wearing any police outfit. I'm not a big fan of that either. Even the face masks. And you had the veteran talking about the clip we played earlier of like, I never wore a face mask in war. And like we were going to fight ISIS and the Taliban. And the threat there is like, hey, if they recognize you, you can come back and kill your fucking family. But like, really? Are you that worried about it in Minnesota? At this point, like you're not on the border dealing with the cartels. You're in suburban neighborhoods, dude. So not a big fan of that myself either. Tim Dillon is a jack-off. Oh, now huge fans of Tim Dillon here. You don't shoot tires. This is actually true. You're right. You don't shoot tires. It was avoidable from an obstruction charge. Moving in front of that vehicle was a no-no. Believe the use of force training at Flecht is efficient. Yeah, so good points here. First of all, I disagree with you because I like Tim. But you are correct. Law enforcement is not trained to shoot tires because also you can cause the vehicle to fucking... Same reason you don't shoot somebody in the fucking face who's driving off, you don't shoot their tires, is you can turn that vehicle into an uncontrolled fucking missile. So, but you are right with that. You don't shoot tires. That's not actual, not something they're trained in as well. But also you're not trying to shoot somebody in the face that's driving off either. So, Jay says, I got a ticket if I drive with my phone in my hand because it's distracted driving, and this motherfucker is trying to pull people out of cars holding a phone. Yeah. Same disgusting people supporting that ICE officer shooting the crazy lady, or the same ones supporting killing Israeli kids then claim to be Christian. True. One of the worst results from incidents like this is the cooling of the general public to keep with the mission to ship out illegals. To get things done is already balancing on a knife's edge. Yeah, I agree with you. And this actually is a detriment, to your point, to the immigration cause, right? If you're actually trying to solve the immigration crisis, get violent illegals off the streets and out of the country, this is not helping, because now you're creating this massive unrest and people are pissed and people are protesting, which they have the right to do, by the way, whether you like that or not. I may not agree with them for why they're protesting, but this is America and you do have the freedom to protest. Whether you agree with someone or not, you should support that as American. Now, peacefully protest, keep in mind. But, you know, even if you're not peacefully protesting, as in, hey, you're an agitator, that doesn't automatically mean you're taking 3 slugs to the fucking face either. So we got to have some context on that. What about the podium? That was not great. Podium, one of ours, all of yours. So yes, Kristi Noem was standing in front of the podium with the saying one of ours, all of yours, which is actually a saying from Nazi Germany. Long story about, I don't know the entire exact story, but essentially I believe it was a Nazi soldier that was killed in a village. And then the Nazis came in and basically killed everyone in the village for that one person being killed. So the idea behind that is like, you killed one of ours, so we kill all of you. So yeah, like maybe putting that on the podium for the government, not the best look. Not the best look. But that's the type of thing we got going on right now. Combat vet, military policeman, 16 weeks OSIT training, never taught to stand in front of a vehicle. I think you're the 3rd or 4th law enforcement officer or military, either security forces or MP, that has said the exact same thing. Turns out most cops are not actually supporting this. Go figure. Former Army sniper here. This is what people warned about with regards to fascism. He's targeting liberal cities now, but he's indiscriminate. He'll turn on the true conservatives if he gets done with the liberals. Kind of already saying that. Look at Dan Bongino declaring war on conservatives. Bobby says, Holman was asked about the lack of training. I believe I heard him respond. They get 47 days of training. That's not even boot camp. They're letting these guys carry weapons in public. Scary. Bobby, 47 days isn't only not as much as boot camp. It's like 1/4 of what basic training is. It's like 1/3 or 1/4 of what your basic police officer is going to get. So maybe 25% of the training for an average police officer is going to get is not enough. Think about this, guys. Everybody that was in the military, think about a 6-week course. How many, like, for schools, a 6-week school? Like, that's nothing to put you out on the streets with a firearm doing shit like that. But yeah, I agree with you on that, Bobby. Miss Trish says, I can't believe how many Americans are supportive of all of this. As long as Donald J. Trump approves it, then people will follow. MAGA needs to read the story of the Pied Piper and maybe take notes. And again, whatever your opinion is, or you support it, you don't support it, you should at least be able to have some empathy and say, this is not a good thing for the country. That's my biggest stance on the whole thing. Matt says, wonder how many in here would have applauded Ruby Ridge or Waco. Yes, this is a great point. These are great points. These are things, remember, like the ATF, to Matt's point, like, hey, we thought it was really bad when the ATF rolled in and fucking killed everybody in Waco, right? Needlessly and unwarranted. Like, we used to acknowledge when, like, feds doing fed shit was bad. But not anymore. Not with MAGA. Now fed shit's the good shit. Why was ICE enforcing state law? They can't do that. I don't know. We'd have to get into the details of that. I'm not sure if they're, like, enforcing state law necessarily. The reasoning is going to be it was self-defense. And so it bypasses whatever they were doing there for state law through the immigration process. That's how they're going to spin it, at least. Our enemies salivating. We are so divided. Half the country thinks it's cool when government officials attack civilians they disagree with. Cool. Yeah, half the country does believe that. Hardway says these turds cheering ICE murdering a U.S. citizen argue that because Trump is hiding the Epstein files, there's no proof. Trump's a PDF. They're PDF lovers and PDFs. Get off on hurting girls and women, not real men. I mean, I don't know at this point. You can't disagree that, yes, I mean, MAGA is the party of protecting pedophiles and cheering on ICE agents shooting people in the face. I'm not trying to be rude if you're MAGA. I'm just saying that is what you support at this point. It's not what I support, but, you know, you got to make your own decisions, I guess. Even correctional officers, prison guards get approximately 3 months at the academy. That's over twice as long as an ICE officer, by the way. And that's for, that's prison guards. And typically this way that works is, at least here locally, is that's usually the first position a lot of law enforcement officers would get. At least the sheriffs will go work in the prison first for about a year before they actually move on to being a sheriff out on the street. So good point there. If you have eyes and a soul, I'm assuming that's what you meant. If you have eyes and a soul, you know this was wrong. She was a threat to no one. At the moment, I don't think she was. I don't think that she's innocent in the situation. I think she was there. She was being an agitator. She was doing dumb shit she shouldn't have been doing. But that doesn't just mean that that's okay to shoot somebody in the face. In my opinion, all I see is people approving and tell them, and it isn't. It doesn't work like that. Chris says, MFW, Sam Hyde gets the situation more than this FUD, LOL, and no, I'm not conservative. Y'all conserve nothing. LMO. Okay. Got it. Whose streets? ICE streets. I did think it was justified, but my mind has definitely been changed. Look, what does justified mean? Legally justified and morally justified are not the same thing. You guys understand that, right? This is my entire point with this. Legally justified, morally justified are separate. And I'll give you guys an example. North Korea. There is a lot of things that are legally justified for the government to do in North Korea, like starve and murder their civilians. It's completely legal by the government. Does that make it morally okay? Not really. So in America, we can also look at our government that way too and say, hey, the government makes the laws, by the way. The government decides what's legal, what's lawful, But that doesn't automatically mean that's also morally okay. Do we understand that? Lawful but awful. Do we understand that? I hope most Americans are starting to understand that. Right? Is that just because the government says something is potentially okay for a law enforcement officer to do does not necessarily make it morally okay. At least in the way I look at the world. Renee Good, I'm not mad at you, dude. ICE agent shoots her in the face and says, fucking bitch. That literally happened. There's no arguing that. We can watch that. To my point, it's going to be very difficult for the defense. The fact that he called her a fucking bitch after he shot her in the face 3 times. Self-defense law, that's going to be rough. That might be the worst thing for the ICE officer, was that by itself. All right. USA says, read the 2014 LA Times article entitled Border Patrol's Use of Deadly Force, Criticize and Report, about Border Patrol in Greg Bovino and Ross's sector purposely stepping in front of vehicles as a pretext to open fire. I have heard this. I actually have heard about this, that this is actually something law enforcement got in trouble for previously, and this might have been the actual case, that they were doing this on purpose so that they could actually open fire on people. I've heard about that. So good comment. Hell yeah, communism. I mean, democracy. MAGA should be their own party. They are true rhinos. Yeah, MAGA is the neocon party now. We understand that, right? Like when Donald Trump is on an airplane with Lindsey Graham, when Lindsey Graham is Donald Trump's best boy, when Mark Levine is at press conferences grabbing Trump saying, you're the best president ever. Ben Shapiro is Trump's guy. Like, we understand, to Trisha's point, MAGA is the party of neocons. Right? Like that's where we're at this point. MAGA PDF supporters and Renee supporters should kiss already. It's a weird comment, but okay. People defending Trump, clearly senile pickle brain, are the exact same as people defending Biden, the dumbest block of voter base. Yeah, people that simp for politicians on either side. I just don't understand it. Like, you love the guy that's in charge. Where else do you love the guy that's in charge? At your job? At your school? Your principal? The dean? Your boss? Like, who is simping for the guy that's in charge, man? The government? It's just fucking weird. Super weird. Trump fucks everything he touches. Fucks up everything he touches. Make bankruptcy a crime? What? All right. Tony says they got to make Blackstone and the rest sell back hundreds of thousands of homes they own as well. Keep up the great work. I would love to see that, man. And fuck it. Don't even sell it back. Just take him. Just take him from him. Like, hey, sorry. This is going to be redistributed now. That's like super communist, but fuck them, whatever. I don't really care with the oligarchs and how much fucking money. I'm not here to defend BlackRock, Blackstone. Fuck it. Take their stuff from them. I don't even care at this point. Our country's so fucking hosed that maybe we need some stuff like that at this point. You know, because they basically have seized all the fucking wealth from us. Ain't nobody give a shit about the regular American citizens. They've seized everything from us. Maybe we need a little bit of something like that at this point. I don't know. It's pretty socialist to say, but fuck, we're living in a corporate oligarchy at this point. So it's not like we're in capitalism. So maybe that is what we need. Investigate and remove someone because they refuse to crash the stock market makes sense. Greatest idea I've heard all day. Yeah, that's Jerome Powell. Good point. Why ICE are behave like they are. Look no further than Trump. Today in Detroit, he told protesters to fuck off twice, followed up with a middle finger. Trump did? Oh, I heard about that. I did hear about that. I haven't seen the clip from that yet. Yeah, to Asia's point, we're definitely not in capitalism. We are not a capitalist society because we're a corporate oligarchy at this point. Best case, socialist oligarchy in some cases. Used car salesman, don't give a shit about his supporters. Wake up. Now, I mean, what did he say about before he ran for office? He said he was running as a Republican because they're so fucking stupid that they'd be easier to trick to get to vote for him. I think that's what the quote was. Something to think about. Haltman says, I found myself politically homeless until I came across your channel. You're great, brother. May God bless you. Jesus, peace be upon him. And Mother Mary, peace be upon her. America first. Well, thank you very much. That's what we do here. We are definitely the politically homeless channel. You don't come here if you want to get the MAGA grift or the far left grift. It's, you know, we kind of try to look at everything down the middle and moderate, and give our own opinions on it, not based off of political party, but based off of individual policy. That's kind of how I try to live my life. Do not care anything about specific, you know, I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't know if I'll ever subscribe to a political party again. I have nothing wrong with, I would have no issues going either way. If the Republican Party started actually moving America first and putting forth American first policies, I would probably go back to being a Republican. And if Democrats got their shit together and started doing America first policy, I'd have no problem going that way either. But I don't see either party moving that direction. So that's just where I'm at right now. Paying interest to some people we print money for. Dollar value dilution is another tax. Yeah. America first, brother, always. Thank you, Mark. Who's the leader of the Praetorian Guard in the Epstein files? Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino is the leader of the Praetorian Guard, defending Donald Trump, protecting the pedophiles, it turns out. Although he did have to step down, so I guess it's Kash Patel now. To a poll, who do you think will save the MAGA movement now that Trump's gone full dementia? Can't possibly be JD, Tucker, Rubio. No, nobody will save MAGA. MAGA dies with Donald Trump. MAGA dies with Donald Trump. And MAGA dies in 2026 when there's a massive referendum on MAGA-backed candidates. When all of the candidates that Donald Trump endorses get the fucking shit rocked out of them, that's when MAGA dies. And Republicans will bail like rats on a fucking ship after 2026. I can guarantee you it. Guarantee you MAGA dies after 2026. And everything will be a referendum on Donald Trump going forward. And that's why I think when we see candidates like Fishback, which, again, I don't think necessarily him as a candidate, but this massive America first. Oh, we got Jesse in the chat? Oh, shit. Big Dog's in the chat. Jesse on Fire's in here? That's my dog, dude. That's my boy. What up, Jesse? Haven't seen you yet. Oh, Jesse dropped a fat donation. We'll get to it here in a minute. I don't want to lose my spot. But thank you, Jess. I see it. What do we got? Oh, did I get lost? I probably got lost anyway. God damn it. Wait, here we go. Here we go. Do you think Dan was possibly put back out there as a media plant by the admin for propaganda purposes? Do you think he genuinely quit, or is he asked to go back and do it with intent? It's starting to look to me like he's been put back out there to be propaganda for Fed Slop, because the fact that like he came out and just is simping fucking hardcore for the Trump administration, not saying a word about the Epstein files, the fact he's going to declare war on non-MAGA. Yeah, I think there's a high possibility, to your point, that he potentially was maybe not placed there, but I think he wanted out, and they were like, hey, you can still do work for us. And based off of that APAC tracker, supposedly that 6 mil, I don't know. And they've all been neurolinked. Atomica says military was never our strength. Oh, this is not a good comment right out the gate. Not in the modern world. It was the trust of the world. It's over. You did it to yourself, short-minded fools. That is not true. America has become the greatest superpower in the world by far, strictly because of its insane military might and power. And we saw that following World War II. That's why the entire global structure was completely realigned. The United States took control over the entire financial system. The U.S. dollar became the reserve currency, became the oil currency, all because of the might of the American military. Whether you like that or not, that is the truth. What does that mean in 2025? However, it doesn't mean necessarily as much, because technology is so advanced now that, I mean, China, Russia, the United States could all obliterate the world 1,000 times over just with our nuclear capabilities. So I think going forward, to your point, In the future, I think military might will have a little bit less to do with it, but this is the way humanity works. Whoever has the most powerful military typically controls or is the world's superpower. It's always been that way. There's never been a time where where the superpower of the world wasn't also the strongest military in the world. There's never been a time. So just something to think about. But going forward into the future, I would agree that the military, with technology, it gets a little bit hazier with that. Fortunate Son by CCR is a perfect song for the draft dodging rich kids' use of the military. Great song, by the way. Cannot fathom how our professional military leadership would be accomplices to invading a NATO ally. Yeah, this is one that's real sketchy. Because we're talking about if we were to actually use military action, bomb, kill people in Greenland in military action, like that's actually be illegal orders, by the way, because they're an ally. And they're a NATO ally. This isn't like our greatest ally, like Israel, a fake ally who we don't actually have any actual defense treaty with. If you guys didn't know that, we have no formal alliance with Israel. We do with Denmark. And so this actually would be a illegal order. I don't know. I would like to say that the military would not action that out, but fuck, I don't know, guys. It's hard to. You get told in the military to do something, you don't do it, they'll ruin your entire fucking life. And so we'll have to wait and see. But I can't imagine we're going to actually use military force on Greenland. Please, for the love of God, America, can we not do that? I just do not want to wake up one morning and have to do content on the fact that we bombed Greenland. Fuck. Please do not put us in that situation. But who knows? Lindsay with a 100%. Lindsay with a 1% had a dub. Greenland has oil and needs democracy. Greenland's promised to Trump 2,000 years ago. Trump is off his fucking rocker, dude. It just seemed like it just amplified the second the new year hit. It was just like, he's just like, fuck it, dude. Fuck it. I can do whatever I want. Which I thought that was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to happen until after the midterms. I thought we were going to get insane, do whatever I want Trump after the midterms. The fact we're getting it before the midterms is fucking wild. Because again, it's just going to absolutely obliterate Republicans' chances to win anything in the midterms. So, Nate, what's your take on the aircraft used to hit the boats wearing civvies? If a 747 gets hit, we'll know why. What's my thought on an aircraft used to hit the boats wearing civvies? I'm not sure what you mean. Take on the aircraft used to hit the boats wearing civvies. I'm not tracking what you mean by that, brother. Sorry. Somebody in chat, am I missing something on that one? Story I missed? Boats wearing civvies? Civilian looking planes. Oh, did we we used civilian looking planes for some of the strikes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, man. I did hear about the story. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird because we don't really need to worry about it. Like, you can just use drones for stuff like that. So I heard about the story, but I don't know enough about it. But we do use stuff like 747s for military operations. Like, there's dudes jumping out of 747s at 30,000 feet doing infiltrations under parachutes and shit. So we do stuff like that sometimes. But yeah, I don't know for that one. Hop says you might have to do what I did with my ex-wife. I got a breathalyzer to show I'm not drunk. Once they get that as an excuse, they never let it up. Oh, dude, I have one drink on the show and a 3.5. Think about you having one drink at dinner, guys. Anybody who thinks I'm drunk doesn't know Nate. Nate gets real spicy when he's actually drunk. You guys would know if I was drunk. One drink in 3.5 hours. for a dude that's 245 pounds. Yeah, that ain't it, boys. That ain't it. If one of the cops stand there and lets another cop violate your rights, he's a traitor. Thank you, JT. American says, so is Benny into Jim Boy or Soy Boy? I don't know. We'd have to ask Milo. Milo's the only one that knows. On John's theory about gunfire triggering the mic explosive, could that be why they're so careful with the audience mic? It dropped. It could trigger a charge. I don't know. We need to ask John about that, or even Matt, because Matt's an actual audio guy. When it comes to the audio side of that, I'm like the least qualified to talk about microphones and audios and whatnot. Benny the Sword Swallower. Jesus, guys. The way my kitty dried up when Stephen Miller was called a high value man. Oh, okay, that's funny. Jack Sora says Stephen Miller is protecting the president. What? 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 What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stephen Miller is protecting the president. You are crazy, dude. No, you're out of control, bro. Protecting him from what? Medio says, wonder what Trump's White House plaque will read when he's out of office. All that shit's getting torn down. You guys know that, right? Like everything he's put up, all the gold, all the plaques, all the photos, the next president is going to literally tear all that down. That's going to be a one-term thing. Wars of Racket says, I so want another man to use the platform to suggest I'm a high-value man. That I can have all the money, fame, and women for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, shit, I should be. Yeah. Is Jesse still in here? I should say that about some of my boys. Yeah, we got Jesse on Fire in here. That's a high-value man, right? Is that what we're supposed to do in here? Dan from Heavy Duty Country. That's another high-value man. I don't know how I'm supposed to simp for my buddies. Talk about how hot they are, I guess. If I was Jesse Waters, that's what I would be doing. Talking about how big Jesse on Fire's dick is. If I was Jesse Waters, that's what I would be doing, right? Yeah, I'm telling you guys, my boys got huge hogs, dude. Huge hogs. High value man with huge hogs. Again, I'm just going by what Fox News talks about, guys. If I was Fox News, Jesse on Waters. Yeah, I kind of fucked that one up. I was putting Jesse on Fire with Jesse Waters at the same time. But yeah, my boys got giant hogs and they're high value men. Jesse is Jesse Waters, right? Is that his name? I'm not getting him mixed up. I don't watch Fox News. Jesse Waters. That's the guy we watched, right? I'm not mixing two people up now, am I? It is Jesse Waters. Okay, got it. All right, got it. Anyway, if I was Jesse Waters on Fox News, I'd be talking about how big my buddies' hogs are for sure. Oh, we got JD in the chat. All my buddies are in here. All my big-dicked buddies are in here. And don't clip that, by the way. We're making fun of Jesse Waters. So if you clip that and you take out the context, it's going to look really bad. So don't clip that out of context, please. We're making fun of Fox News. Okay. Don't just clip out me talking about how big my buddies' dicks are, because that's going on Twitter for somebody. And we're going to pay the price for that one. All right. Anyway, let's get back on track. We're spiraling a little bit, guys, but it's okay. We got my friends in the chat right now. All right. Did you see the ICE agents take a woman in the porta potty? I did not see that. I meant Stephen Miller is protecting the precious. Okay. Okay, I get you. That's a little bit better. Stephen Miller is the reason why hotels have chairs in the corner. All right, I love a good cuck joke. Love a good cuck joke. Stephen Miller does seem like that type of guy, by the way. Are you up to date about Erica Kirk and how she just got the life insurance $20 million? How whoever wanted to collect had to be CEO of TPUSA. What? I was going to do a video on Erica Kirk tomorrow, by the way. I'll have to look into that. So she said, so she will find a sad or fake reason to bow out soon. If that's true, that's insane. I was more just getting caught up on her videos with the CIA and her shit doing fucking blow and coke. I didn't know about the $20 million life insurance policy that she had to be CEO of. So that's okay. Great. There's some more to add to that. I'll look into that tonight. Because, yeah, I was just working on a video for that because it's getting so fucking weird. Please discuss Sasha Riley testimony in the Epstein files. Okay, see, this is the third person that's brought that up. I already have it written down right here. I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm going to have to look it up, but I will. I already have it written down. Thank you. TJ says the Canada policy for LGBTQ refugees from other countries like the US, not Canada. Oh my God, what? So they're gonna pay refugees from another country 12 months worth of rent and pay for their livelihood for them to escape because they're gay to Canada? Dude, Canada, where's Jasmine at? Jasmine, you guys got to get your shit together. You guys got to get your shit together out there. That's getting fucking crazy. Oh, we think stuff's crazy here, and then we hear about Canada, and we're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, you guys, Jesus. Somebody said I just became gay. Yeah. If they're going to pay for 12 months worth of rent, Jesus. We're all gay now. If they're paying our bills, we're all gay refugees now. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, the entire chat's feeling real gay all of a sudden. Turns out, if Canada's paying your bills for being gay, then we're all gay. I don't know what to say, bruh, or in arrested too. That sounds like our teenage son. Grok also you to make kitty pee. That's why some of the countries are banning Twitter. But they also have hate speech. I don't know what's going on out on Twitter because I don't have it. So I wouldn't be surprised, though. People super chat's hard to send when you're drinking. Yeah. Wars the Racket says they won't release the Epstein files because the sex ring stuff isn't the worst part. The blackmail and key politician figures that are obviously compromised is yes. So I've said this 100 times. They don't really care about the like low level politicians, presidents, world leaders. What they care about is the high side. By high side, I mean like the CIA, Mossad, the fact that we have, or that the CIA, the United States government, was not only complicit in, but most likely actively participated in trafficking children around the world to compromise foreign leaders, dignitaries, and our own politicians. That's what the Epstein files shows. And what they cannot show America is that our own government is the ones that have facilitated that. That's what they don't want to show you. It's also, but the thing is, we know that, and we know our own country is doing that, and it's fucking gross. And I would prefer that we burn the entire system down to not protect pedophiles. Personally, if you told me, well, the entire system gets burned down if you expose them, okay, burn it down. Burn it down then. I would just rather I'd rather that happen than our entire system be controlled by fucking pedophiles. Personally. But everybody's got their own opinions on that. Don't think the Stephen Miller fans are gay. They just love Israel that much. It's kind of the same thing, homie. Just gonna say that. Pretty sure the vast majority of the people that simp for Israel are also in the closet. Maybe not. That's just a hot take by me. Trump has fired or got to quit over how many? I can't read this. 300,000 federal employees. At least he's done that. I don't think you meant to put a K on the end of that. I don't know what the math on that is, but that's like 330 million. I think you just meant 300,000. Please don't forget that there are many more pro juice box organizations other than AIPAC that give money. 100% true. You got JPAC, AIPAC. There's like 5 other different ones, and that's how they sort of get around AIPAC. And they're actually working on that. Is trying, now that they know AIPAC is like the big red flag for voters, they're trying to work ways around still donating money to candidates and politicians without being flagged by AIPAC. That's the new movement forward for sure. We got to stay on top of it, though. You're on point tonight, brother. Straight sticking to your principles. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. Game Hero says, I'm sorry, but I don't even think we will make it to the midterms. Some of you have high hopes. I hope so. The midterms are only like what? How many months away are we from the midterm? 10 months away? God, I hope we make it that long. Depreciate weapons, dump them for pennies, rebuild at 10 to 15 or 5 to 10x. No wonder the U.S. is bankrupt. Let Mike Huckabee go to Israel's front lines, not American kids. Yeah. Same for, same. You know who else? And guys, we didn't talk about it tonight. I'm doing a whole video on it. But I don't know if you saw this. Matt fucking Walsh came out attacking disabled fucking veterans yesterday. And I'm not going to get too far into it because I'm so fucking mad because this guy is such a fucking little pussy, little coward that it just drives me so fucking crazy that he has the audacity to attack disabled combat veterans, saying that they don't deserve to have their benefits. Anyway, you just reminded me of that. I'm doing a whole video on it. Fuck Matt Walsh. Coward fucking pussy that he is, having the audacity to, say that combat veterans and disabled veterans don't deserve their fucking benefits after they've had their legs blown off. Fuck you, guy. Anyway, I'll do a whole video on that because I'm just so disgusted. But that's just the type of person, like that type of guy, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, all these guys that are going to fucking tell you, hey, and those are the first people that are just, we got to fucking get to the next war, bomb Iran, boots on the ground, global war on terror. They cheer that shit on like it's fucking nothing. But then when it comes to supporting the people who went and fought the wars, when they come home all fucked up, all of a sudden you don't want to support that anymore. Yeah, fuck you, Matt Walsh. Anyway, I'll do a whole video on that. I'm so disgusted with that guy. It's driving me crazy. A bunch of my veteran buddies sent me the clips of him talking about it, and I'm just, fuck him. He's probably taken the top spot on who I hate the most at the Daily Wire following that. Anybody who never served and also advocates for sending us to forever wars and then also complains about disabled veterans having benefits after. Nah, dude, fuck you, guy. But we got something for him coming. Don't worry about that. Accountability all the way. Thank you, David. Hardway says, little hat citizens receive taxpayer-funded healthcare, including abortion on demand. The evangelicals turn a blind eye where they condemn it in the USA. Not only that, did you guys know, I believe upwards of 30% of people in Israel identify as LGBTQ? 30%. It's the highest rate in the entire world. And yes, they do have things like abortion on demand. It's so weird to me that MAGA, the evangelicals, are the biggest simps for a country that has like the most leftist, progressive social society in the world. It is so fucking weird to me that MAGA evangelicals support a country that is farther left socially than anything in America. Fucking weird. Weird, guys. So Iran isn't the greatest threat to Israel. Iran technically is probably the greatest threat to Israel. But I don't care. Turns out, because they're not a threat to the United States. So I don't really care that they're a threat to Israel. It is what it is. I think Trump is dying. The bruises, the MRIs, the Biden-like behavior, the ballroom, the Kennedy Center, the Nobel Prize, Greenland. He's destructive legacy seeking mode, and fuck everybody else. I've seen a lot of people talking about this too. There's a guy that's an actual PhD dementia doctor that does a lot of content on Instagram that actually talks about all these different things with the bruises. He talks about the type of drugs that actually cause the exact thing that's happening. I forget his name. I wish I had it off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't think I'm not sure. I don't think he makes it the full 4 years. Not that I think he's going to be assassinated. I just think he's 80 years old and morbidly obese. And I just don't think he's got the health to make it. He might, though. He's Trump. Like, he's fucking, at the same time, he's just might be too like stubborn and dumb to die. We'll just have to wait and see. But then we get JD Vance, and that's probably even worse. So yeah. Trump constantly reminds us how much he sold his soul for, and who bought it. Love your channel, brother. Where I can still get a little trashy t-shirt. Oh, this t-shirt. This is Combat Iron Apparel, I think. My wife got me this for Christmas. It's not our brand. I think it's Combat Iron Apparel. They got some hilarious stuff over there. But yeah, we are a little trashy, obviously, on this channel. Nobody ever said Nate was classy. Okay. I've never claimed that about myself, not once. Okay. I think I'm a nice guy. I think I can be kind of funny, but I've never claimed to be classy. That's for sure. Not in my repertoire. It is what it is. That's not why you guys tune in. After she's shot, that's why you don't shoot. Six's mom says, Middle America gone again. What makes us great is exactly what they're bringing down. Yep. Once they break us, depression, anarchy, civil war, filled gas today of $5.15 per gallon. Oh, you're in Hawaii though. Yeah. Aloha from Kauai. Yeah. It's still close to $4 a gallon here too, but we're in, liberal states. So that's the way it goes for us, but thank you. Appreciate it. Ice Agents leans into car, by the way. Yeah, because he's like leaning over the hood of the front of the car at the start of it, which is dumb. Glitch the Matrix says, Nate, have you gone down the 16.66 false messiah rabbit hole yet? Explains where these Satanists come from and how they hijack the Freemasons and connects all the dots behind the veil. I have not. I used to be pretty. We're almost done. Wife just got home. We won? Sick. Son won his basketball game. Was out of town. So I wasn't able to go. Had to bring you guys the show, but they won. So there we go. No, I haven't. I am big into sort of the Illuminati stuff, Book of Enoch, like all that type of stuff, the Nephilim. I'm kind of a nerd for that type of stuff, so I'll write that down. I do like that type of stuff. The only way, Harrison says, the only way to make sense of this is to view ICE as Trump's version of brown shirts. Then it all makes sense. Imagine if Biden sent troops to take some guns. Ooh, yeah, not a gun. Well, poll idea. If a trans person held the solutions to all problems in the U.S., would the American people vote for them to be president? We don't even need to do polls. They would not. America's not voting for, not only are they not voting for a trans person, they're not voting for a gay person. I'm just letting you guys know the truth. That's just the way it is. That's not going to happen. We haven't even voted a woman in as president yet. You think we're about to get that crazy? Yeah. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, the judgment. Shit. Oh, no. Only one parent was able to make it to the game while the other parent worked to pay bills. Oh, my gosh. The judgment. Yeah. You probably burn your kids with cigarettes, homie. Chill. All right. Let's see. It wasn't just justified. It's plausible deniability. Perfect example why war vets shouldn't be cops or federal agents. This isn't true at all, actually. Not at all. And actually, most war vets, especially combat vets, have far more training in situations like this and understand well better when to use their weapon and when not to than most law enforcement officers do, actually. And it is what it is. Straight up murder, in my opinion. You clearly don't understand the judicial system. Yeah, I don't know anything about self-defense law. I'm not a guy who's literally legally qualified to, actually have people registered as concealed carry licensee holders. I don't teach self-defense, legal use of force courses. I don't know anything about that. Yeah. I don't train law enforcement departments and sheriff departments. I don't know anything about that. Good one, bud. Good comment. Nate doesn't know anything about that. Wow. Next poll. Forget AOC versus Miller. Who's truly the hottest in office? Personally, Mark Wayne Mullen can get it. Who's Mark Wayne Mullen? That sounds like a dude. Mark, what? That is a dude. What? What the hell is wrong with you, dude? What is going on in here? As soon as we start, sorry, he made me laugh. As soon as we talked about Canada, as soon as we talked about Canada giving 12 months of free rent to gay people, all of a sudden everybody's gay in here. Exactly. We're all gay for Canada free rent. All right. All right, there's Jesse. Jesse says, "What's up, stud? So I'm setting up my Bongino vid." Oh, God, he's taking a beating, guys. He's literally taking a beating from everybody. And I'm reacting to yours and Dan's. Check this. I click on Dan's and get an 18 plus warning. He must have gone hard. Yeah, I used some of Dan's stuff in my video. Also, go react to Ben Shapiro's Iran's plans to kill protesters. Trust me. Okay, I'll look that up. Yeah, God, dude. Bongino's taking it from every angle. I think everybody has dogged him. It sounds like Jesse's gonna dog pile on behind it in his next video too. So make sure you guys check that out. Thank you, buddy. Harrison says, "You believe Trump Inc. will allow another election?" That's adorable. I do. I think so. Maybe I'm optimistic, but we got 3 years to go, which seems like a really long time when I looked at the fact that we are only 1 year into this term. Oh, it's feeling rough, boys. Hopefully we make it 3 more years, but we'll see. Just an honest compliment. Your organization presentation for the show are excellent. I think you write it out in advance. Oh yeah. I don't write out the show in advance, like as in what I'm going to say. But yeah, I mean, there's 100+ tabs of different stories, memes, clips, everything that I compile for the show. I work on it pretty much all week. Like over the week, I compile everything. I get everything put together. Takes me usually 3 hours or so before the show just to get everything pulled up, everything organized, everything in the order I want it. So yeah, I mean, it's not something that I don't just sit down behind the screen, log into the live and bring it to you guys. Definitely takes a lot of organization and work, but you know, that's part of the job. But I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Don says, "If you think the economy is bad now, wait till we get sanctioned and lose all our best trade partners once we invade NATO." Yeah, that would be bad. We live in present-day Rome under Roman rulers. Nothing new under the sun. Trump is sold out to Israel, the man of lawlessness, son of perdition. Well, this doesn't really make sense because Rome and the Jays hate each other. And while there is obviously semblance of the Roman Empire, the Catholic Church, obviously, that still exists, these aren't the same thing, right? Obviously, the Jays hate Rome more than anything. And so I think there's more of the second that's in charge rather than the former, personally. We need a shit-faced Nate live stream. Man, yeah, if we went, we could go full bore sometime. Maybe we do that as like a member live stream where we just log in, do members only, and we just get trashed. My wife would love that. No, she wouldn't, but maybe we do that with the boys. Maybe we do that with the boys stream. We get like me, JD doesn't drink, but we could get like me. We get me, JD, Jesse, Dan from Heavy Duty Country, and we just all get trashed. And just get drunk as shit and cover something hilarious. I think that actually might be funny. We should probably do that. I'll talk to the boys. You guys can actually see what we look like when we get hammered. I think that would actually probably be a hilarious stream. And then we just try to not get our YouTube channels banned. That's probably what would happen. Yeah, I like that idea, though. We should definitely do that. I think it'd actually be hilarious. Oh, doing it on the American Thor channel might not be a bad idea, just in case we get it banned. Yeah, I think that's funny. I'll talk to the guys about it. I hope that ICE learns from this incident as well, the protesters. Yeah, I mean, that's the best way we could look at it, right? Like, if we could get, this is like the most positive way to look at it. We could actually get some, lessons learned out of it. But I doubt that's going to happen, but that's a great way to look at it. How soon will the West Wing be rebuilt? I don't know, man. Who knows? Hopefully before he gets out of office. Ben says Elon turned Grok into a PDF that takes off girls' clothes. I'm pissed that feature wasn't introduced earlier. Jesus Christ, dude. Wait, what? Was this a, am I reading this wrong? Jesus, I feel like this is a pedophile comment. Are you a pedophile? What? Don't say that. Don't say that shit out loud. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. That seemed weird. All right. That seemed fucked up. Maybe I hope you wrote that wrong. Penta, what's up, brother? With the big $100 dono. Thanks for the generosity, man. Penta just always here, just making Nate look small, unfortunately. I need to get a better angle on the camera, right? Because Penta's like always so fucking jacked in here. What if I can do this here? No, didn't do it. He's still, biceps are still way bigger than mine. We tried. Penta's yoked. All right. Penta says not very long, but in my defense, fat like a beer can. Nothing but love for the Valhalla crew. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. One guy on the channel bigger than me. It's probably a few guys in here bigger than me, but we can't ever get as big as Penta. We might. I gotta get like more in the biceps here. Yeah, we ain't there. Can't do it. All right. It is what it is. It is what it is. RX says, man, 47 days of training for ICE agents to make life or death decisions is asinine. Yeah, no shit. Coding boot camps used to be 6 to 18 months long before a job. Yeah, and that's for coding, not for you to be out on the streets with a fucking firearm. Third MWA Doc says, I'm 100% rated combat wounded veteran. Fuck Walsh. Yeah, hell yeah, brother, dude. Exactly. Matt Walsh thinks you, a 100% combat wounded veteran, do not deserve your benefits, by the way. And so I agree with you. Fuck Matt Walsh. Matt, I wear flannels for fashion. Walsh is the definition of a chicken hawk, and I would not shed a single tear if they found him as a recipient of a little blood eagle. Oof. Yeah, people are not going to be happy. When you guys watch my video on it, either tomorrow or the next day, you're not going to be happy. Just fuck that guy, dude. Like, and also, think about this. This motherfucker has no problems sending $40 billion fucking dollars to foreign countries at all. But he's got a problem with disabled combat veterans receiving disability benefits. That's Matt Walsh. No issues with all that money going to our greatest ally. But if some of that money is to take care of dudes that have got their fucking legs blown off at war, nah, dog. That's Matt Walsh. Like, how do you think that's a winning strategy for you, dude? You know what I mean? Like, what in your brain? Like, that's where you're going to draw the line. If you're a conservative talking head, maybe just don't talk about that. If that's your opinion, maybe just like keep that to yourself. Because like nobody's going to support that. Like, Democrats aren't going to support you on that. Republicans aren't going to support you on that. Moderates aren't going to support you on that. For the most part, very few people in America have the outlook of like, hey, we shouldn't take care of our combat veterans. Very few people feel that way. So, but he does, turns out. The original plan, Trump for 2, Vance for 10. God, I hope not. Oh, I hope not. Allah bless you and your family. Well, thank you. Favorite artist, Nate Dogg. Rip commentator equal Nate VFT. I love Nate Dogg, dude. I actually love Nate Dogg as a hip-hop artist. Oh, Third Ma with the big $100 donation. Go Navy. Oh, my gosh. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, yeah, I'm a big fan of all the Army branches. Army, Navy, Marine Corps. Even, is Coast Guard even part of the U.S. military anymore? They get rid of the Coast Guard. Not rid of the Coast Guard, but didn't they drop Coast Guard off into non-military? I thought I saw that. Maybe not. Maybe just they don't get any respect. Ugh. They do some wild shit, though. Actually, the Coast Guard does. Coast Guard Special Operations does a lot of actually pretty wild stuff against the cartels with drug smuggling, which is pretty sweet. But you know, wait, Third says, fuck the Coast Guard. All right, then. All right. Yeah. Go Navy. Fuck the Coast Guard. All right. I'll get on board with that. I'm fine with that. Unless there's any Coast Guard people in here. Sorry for that. But that's what we're doing right now. Shut up and take my money. Philip J. Fry. Thank you, SP. And then last one, we made it. Are we for the Constitution or not? You know, we are here. I think all of us in this channel are, in this community, are constitutionalists. But the powers that be right now are fucking definitely. They don't give a fuck about the Constitution at all. Definitely not Trump. Trump views the Constitution as a hurdle. He does not view it as a document to be respected, to be sort of exemplified, to operate within. He looks at it as a hurdle that he needs to get around. And I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say that to like just shit on Trump. I'm just saying that's actually how he operates. That's actually how he looks at it. And that's just by policy, you know. So, and then we got Cringeal is our gayest ally. They actually are. The state of Israel is, and I probably can't say that because I don't want to get the channel banned, but technically they are. Yeah, statistically they are. So interesting how that works. All right, we made it through a little bit longer stream tonight, a little bit longer than we normally go. Not that bad though. Fun one tonight though. Glad to be back with you guys after being gone on vacation. That is gonna wrap it up. We do have a stream. We got quite a few episodes coming out this week. We do have a live stream coming Friday, and then I got to go to Las Vegas on Monday for the Gundy's Award Show. We'll see if we end up winning. We are nominated in the top 5. Dan from Heavy Duty Country is also nominated in the top 5 for his category. So we'll see if me and him, either of us, win our categories. If we do, cool. If not, whatever. But we'll have to wait and see. And so, yeah, we will we'll have a couple episodes. We'll have episodes pretty much all week, regular videos, and then we will be back Friday. I'm not sure what the topic is going to be yet, but we'll figure it out. Okay. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for being with us all night. Thank you to Jasmine. Jasmine, I know she's got some work and different stuff going on, so she can't be here all the time, but glad to have you here and glad to see you all in the chat. Thank you to my buddies who are all here. And that's going to do it, guys. Have a fantastic night, and we will be back Friday for something cool. I'll have this probably going to be TPUSA Erica Kirk involved because there's so much fucking insane stuff going on with that right now. I'm going to try to deep dive some of that crazy corruption and see what we can bring you. So that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. I'll catch y'all on Friday.